Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, April 17th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Cincinnati Reds. First pitch is going to be here in about 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. And on the thumb on the left is Julio Rodriguez. And on the right, the stud Ellie De La Cruz. Now let's get into the starting lineups here for the visiting Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting second, DHing for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting third, catching today for Seattle. He can hit homers from the left side and the right side. Congratulations on home run number 100 for your career, and many, many more to come. The stud switch hitter, catcher, Big Dumpa, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing right field, Luke Raley. Batting sixth, playing first base, Rowdy Tellez. Batting seventh, playing second base, staying hot as ever, it's Demo Dylan Moore. Batting eighth, playing third base today, Miles Mastrobuoni. And batting ninth, playing shortstop for the Seattle Mariners, J.B. Crawford. And we were supposed to have Brian Wu on the mound, but they decided to move him to tomorrow for the Apple TV Plus broadcast against the Blue Jays. So we are bringing back up from AAA and the Tacoma Rainiers, Emerson Hancock. 0-1 record with an ERA of, listen to this, 81. He gave up 6 runs in his first start in the first inning. We sent him down. It might be the highest ERA I've ever heard of in MLB history. Hopefully he only gives up 3 to 4 runs today, and the Mariners can put up 5 and we can find a way. But obviously Brady Singer on the other side will have something to say about that. It might end up being a low-scoring affair, at least for the Mariners early on, but I still got some faith in Emerson Hancock slightly. Let's go, baby. Let's get that ERA down from 81 to something respectable. Let's go. And now let's get into the starting lineup for the home Cincinnati Reds. Leading off for the Reds here in the rubber match, center fielder T.J. Friedl. Batting second, playing third base, Santiago Espinal. Batting third, one of the most exciting players in the MLB, shortstop Ellie De La Cruz. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing today for the Reds, Austin Hayes. Batting fifth, the former Dodger second baseman, Gavin Lux. Batting sixth, playing first base, Aimer Candelario. Batting seventh, playing left field for Cincinnati, Blake Dunn. Batting eighth, playing right field, Jake Fraley. And batting ninth, catching today for the Reds, Austin Wynns. And on the mound, one of the Cincinnati Reds aces, 3-0 record, ERA of 3.18. That's a hell of a lot better than Emerson Hancock, let me tell you. It is Brady Singer. I know it's going to be a tough outing. I would have loved to have been able to see Wu, here today, but it is smart to save Wu for the Blue Jays to kind of start off that series. It's going to be tough, but I still think, it can't get any worse than it did, in his first start with 6 runs in the first inning, can it? So I'm hoping that he gives up a respectable, 3 to 4 runs. If he gives up only 1 or 2, we're definitely going to win today. But if it's 3 to 4 runs, it'll give us a chance. If he gives up 5 or more, it's going to be pretty fucking hard to win this game. Let's be real. But again, the bats are starting to come alive. Defense is coming alive. And you never know. The Mariners are a very streaky team, but it definitely feels like we're on the right path. Let's go, M's. Reflect with a $20 dono. Tridents up, and I appreciate that. One of the earliest broadcasts you're going to ever see me do. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack, and that might be a good omen with a nice $20 dono to start it off here at 9:40 a.m. And I know, obviously, everyone that's in Cincinnati or further in the East Coast, it's 12:40. But I've been up since 6 a.m., took Paisley on a long walk, had a big bowl of breakfast, a nice big thing of cereal, blueberries, strawberries. So I feel fed. I feel like I've got my exercise in. Sun is out here in the Pacific Northwest. The only thing missing for me and Reflect and any other Mariner fan is a series win. Let's get it, baby. Cole in the building. What's good? Let's go. Yeah, and good luck on your interview. Hopefully that goes well for you as well. Judah in the building. What's good? And, I don't really know what to expect out of Emerson Hancock, but again, 0-1 record with an ERA of 81, which might be the highest in MLB history, since he gave up 6 runs in the first inning in his first start earlier in the year, and then we sent him down. It can't get any worse than that. And there has been games where Hancock actually has looked decent, so we'll see where it goes. First pitch, Singer right down to Julio, down the pipe for a strike. 0-1 count. Let's go. Julio, chop foul, behind in the count now, 0-2. Let's go, J-Rod. We need you, baby. Let's get it. And obviously, we have to give Singer a lot of respect. This is going to be tough. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is outside. At least he doesn't swing at that garbage. 1 ball and 2 strikes here in the top of the first inning. Let's go. And getting off to a fast start would be ideal against Singer, but he's such a good player, and that's strike 3 on Julio. See ya! Nice job by Brady Singer. Again, 3-0 record with a 3.18 ERA, one of their best on the Cincinnati Reds. So, again, it may end up being a low-scoring affair for at least the Mariners in the first 6 innings. But once Singer goes out, we may be able to go on a little sprint in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But I'm really hoping that we can get 1 to 2 runs within the first 6 innings to give us a chance. Polo going deep. Wow, what a catch in right field. That could have been a double, and that's Rob. All right, Fraley, I see you out there. Holy hell. 2 away. Polo with some good contact. Next up is big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Hitting home runs from the left side and the right side. Obviously, the torpedo bat is working, but I ended up, watching some interviews, and the home run that he hit from the right side was not a torpedo bat, but he's getting one custom made. So all the left-handed home runs have been with the torpedo bat, but the right-handed home run yesterday was his regular bat. So he's definitely feeling himself, and it shows you he can hit it without the torpedo bat as well. But once he gets the right-handed torpedo bat custom made the way that he likes, and he'll be using torpedo bat the rest of the year, left and the right side. Pitch is on the outside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Cal Raleigh to Brady Singer. I see you. Yeah, I figured he was just using the same bat, left-handed and right-handed, and I'm not sure, the method to the madness, but Cal knows his swing and his body, the best way that he can. And again, 5 home runs in 5 days, with 2 last night, 1 from the left, 1 from the right. And I can't wait for that torpedo bat to get mailed in and custom made for him. So that way, when he ends up going against pitching from that side, he can maybe be a little bit more effective. 2-1 pitch. Pitch is in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Cal Raleigh. I sent you that Brooks graphic showing that obviously Andres Munoz and Jorge Polanco, obviously giving you that plus-minus differential, gives us the top 2 players in MLB to, kind of expand wins and to be able to give us a chance. And that's pretty good. And if you notice, we don't have any of the bottom, 15 or bottom 25 players, on that particular list. So obviously the strikeouts are much less, and our play from a lot of our players, even though our batting averages aren't the greatest, we're playing better, than we were last year. That's facts. Now Raleigh with the walk. Next up is going to be Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Top of the first, 0-0 with 2 outs. Don't expect a whole lot here, against Singer in the first 6 innings. But again, someone, might be able to, it's all about getting consecutive hits back to back. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a homer on Singer, but, if we can get a couple hits at some point, third, fourth inning, just to kind of rough him up a little bit, that could be the difference in the matchup. 1-0 pitch. Pitch in there in the zone for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike from Singer to Randy Arozarena. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's going to be based on the handle, on his grip, and the size and, obviously the weight, because he might be using a different weighted bat from the left side and the right side based on his arm strength. Because obviously he's a natural lefty, and going from the right side, that your arms are going to be, a little bit different there, but it shows he's got power from both sides. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And down goes Randy Arozarena. Nice inning there by Singer. Got to give him the love, even though it is a rival. And again, nice job there by the Reds. 3-0 record, ERA of 3.18. That stays intact. And let's see who's up next here for the Reds in the bottom of the first. Leading off for the Reds, center fielder TJ Friedel. Batting second, third baseman Santiago Espinal. And batting third, shortstop Eli De La Cruz. And I think, we will have a little bit better of a chance today because some of the starters that normally play aren't playing. So you got a backup in Santiago Espinal playing, right? You got another backup that sometimes plays regularly but sometimes is on the bench, and Jaime Candelario. You got a bench guy in Blake Dunn, and you also have another bench guy in Austin Wynns. So you got about half of the lineup that is not normally starting, so it is going to help, you would think, Emerson Hancock maybe a little, and the defense. Now, if we were playing against their starters in the first 2 games, this one could probably get pretty fucking ugly. But just the fact that they got a couple guys that normally are rotational guys that, come in here and there, we'll see where it goes. And obviously on the mound for the Mariners, 0-1 record. Let's get that ERA down from 81 to, 75, and then eventually 65 and 60 and then 50, and then hopefully it can actually be 10 or less. Not some incredibly insane number of 81. But again, he's one of those guys that he's nowhere near Luis Castillo or Bryce Miller, at the end of the rotation. Castillo and Miller obviously are starting to heat up, and obviously we know how we feel about Gilbert, Wu, and Kirby when Kirby comes back from the injury. But again, we've seen Luis F. Castillo struggle. We obviously have seen, Hancock struggle. But again, we have seen Hancock look decent as well. So let me see if I can get Paisley here out the door. 1 second here. Paisley walked behind me and bonked her head on the door with the blanket over her. Looking like Darth Vader with the blanket there, all snuggled up. First pitch in there from Emerson Hancock. 1-0 count. At least it was close into the zone, and we're going to really see if he can get ahead in the count on any of these particular pitches early on, because, he didn't look good in that first start. Popped up. TJ, 1 away. I like that. Nice job by J.P. Crawford. Down goes TJ Friedel. Next up, third baseman Santiago Espinal. Can't get any worse than what we saw at Hancock in that first start. And they were, having some talks with Bryce Miller saying, hey, maybe you should have waited until after the torpedo bat came in to sign, your extension. It was obviously player friendly and whatnot, but hopefully that'll give some extra money on the table for Logan Gilbert because we need to have our core intact. Line drive, JP Crawford active today, 2 away. Let's go. Defense, head on a swivel. Nice job, JP. And if we're going to get defense like that, we're going to definitely have a better chance of competing here today. There we go. Help your guy out. I mean, we're going to need all the help that we can get for a pitcher that definitely has lost a little bit of his swag and his confidence. But a good start here so far. I like that. Nice job by JP Crawford and the good defense. Next up, first pitch to Ellie De La Cruz in the dirt. 1-0 count. And it also is going to help that we have Cal Raleigh catching, not Mitch Garver. That's going to give us a better chance to compete in this game as well. But we did give Cal a 6-year, $105 million extension, and after that is up, hopefully we'll be able to do a big contract at the very end, and he'll be a Mariner for life. If there was any player that was, on the Seattle Mariners that I would want to be a Mariner for life, it's definitely, going to be 2 guys. It's going to be Cal Raleigh and Logan Gilbert. Not to say I don't want Julio here for his whole career. Obviously, we already got him locked in for a long deal, so there's a good chance that we might be able to get all 3. Pitch is in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Ellie De La Cruz. Pitch is inside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Ellie. Let's go, Emerson. I'm going to go tuck Paisley in on the couch. Daddy has to work. And a little right up to JP Crawford. He was a busy man, but nice hit by Ellie De La Cruz and a nice single there. JP a little frustrated. He's getting all the action there today, and that's typically a play that he can make. But when you get an exit velo play like that, just kind of out of position slightly, and good effort, but it just went off the mitt, and that happens. And he already made the first couple outs. Hard to be able to make all 3 right away. And obviously, Ellie De La Cruz had that same type of play happen where he ended up dropping it in his mitt, and Julio got a single yesterday. So it happens. Next up, DHing Austin Hayes. I don't think that they're going to give him an error for that play, though. It's a regular base knock. Bottom of the first, 0-0. Hancock on the mound, looking decent so far. And now we got Austin Hayes in the box. Let's go, Mariners. I mean, if we had Wu today, I think that, the chances of us winning would dramatically increase. It's going to be hard to win this game if we're being real, unless we can get good pitching out of Hancock and good bullpen play. But just like that, back, see ya! And there's the home run that we were fearing. Austin Hayes in his 3rd game had that 3-run homer to help them win. And it shows you Emerson Hancock, he's got an ERA of 81. Maybe spoke a little bit too soon there, Benjamin. But again, hopefully we'll find a way to be able to rally a little bit later. 2-0 Reds. Yeah, we need Kirby. We need Troy Taylor with more reps. And we definitely need Brash as well. But missing Kirby in the lineup is definitely hurting. Rough. Again, am I surprised that he gave up the home run there? No. Again, I already kind of penciled in that he was going to give up 4 to 5 runs. But it could be as many as 6 to 10. And if that's the case, that the bats have to come alive for the Mariners, and going against Singer, that's going to be a tough task. And, if he goes out in the 6th and we have to rally in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, we've done it before, but a nice homer there all the way back into the 5th row. Grandpa caught that home run ball. Nice job by Austin Hayes. And Lux grounds out, and we finally get out of the inning. The former Dodger has been good against the Mariners in this particular series. And, again, it's like we need to be able to find that 5th guy, especially when you have one of the starters that are injured, because when we're, healthy, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller, Luis Castillo, there's not very many, pitching staffs that can compete with that. Maybe the Dodgers when they're healthy, maybe the Phillies when they're healthy fully, but again, player for player, that is one of the best. It's always going to be top 3 with those 5 guys, but not having Kirby available and having to rotate with guys like this and Luis F. Castillo, it's putting more pressure, on the offense to produce, and it's already hard enough for us to typically get to 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits, but that's going to be the number today, and you might actually have to add on a couple extra runs and hits to that number. Go to first, Deluxe, and let me go check up on my pup here real quick and get her all settled in on the couch. Next up for the Mariners, right fielder Luke Raley. Batting second, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. And batting third, a stud who's been hot, Demo Dylan Moore. I'll be right back. Let me get my pup settled in here real quick. All right, I got her all tucked in. Anything you want to see photo-wise, let me know. I got you. And, I don't really mind doing early broadcasts. I mean, it's a grind. I still am I just wish WrestleMania wasn't on the same weekend as the Blue Jays, and this happened last year as well. But I was actually looking that if I really push myself, I'm not going to be able to do the, Sunday Easter matchup because I'm going to be at my dad's and I'll be home right before WrestleMania starts. But if I prepare early and make the thumbnails in advance, I might be able to do the Mariner game on Saturday and then just do WrestleMania right after that, maybe with only like a half-hour break in between. And obviously with WrestleMania, I'm not really having to call a game. It's more like I'm reacting to the amazing wrestling and craziness that's happening in WrestleMania. So, I might try to push and try to do the Friday game we're doing for sure tomorrow with Brian Wu, but I might push and try to do that Saturday game. So that way we're only missing the one game on Sunday. I'll watch it, obviously, at my dad's. It's going to be early in the morning. But again, I got to be able to grind it out. 2-0 Reds. And let's see what we can get here out of Luke Raley. First pitch inside, 1-0 count. Pitch is inside again at the knees, 2-0 count. Wow, pitch is inside again, 3-0 count. Normally when that happens, that typically will lead to a walk by Raley, but sometimes he gets a little overly aggressive. Pitch is in there for a strike. Yeah, we were definitely hoping that he would be better, and obviously doesn't look like a first rounder at all. Hancock looks like a 5th to 7th rounder. I don't know, in foul territory, 1 away. Next up is Rowdy Tellez. What a waste of that bat right there. Helping out Singer. Top of the second, 2-0 Reds. First pitch low and outside, 1-0 count to Rowdy Tellez. Let me get everything situated here. Pitch is outside, 2-0 count. In the zone for a strike. Pretty much anything that we can get out of Rowdy Tellez is going to be great. He's our worst player, in the starting lineup by far. Probably should be sent down to AAA. But, hopefully he can end up getting a couple hits here today to help us out. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rowdy Tellez. Nice hit by Tellez all the way to right field. And again, I think that they just, felt that, putting Wu in this situation would have given us a better chance, to be able to win this particular series, but it would have still been tough with Singer. So they were just going to roll the dice with Hancock and, trying to be able to get 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays. But regardless on where you put Wu, this series is just as important to win 2 out of 3 than it is with the Blue Jays. So, and you really don't exactly know how the Blue Jays are going to come out, if they're going to come out hot or if they're going to struggle. So, it's definitely a decision that may come back to bite us. Because again, if we don't end up winning this game, we might end up only winning 1 out of 3. But obviously putting Wu in the lineup tomorrow on Apple TV Plus, that is really focusing on trying to win 2 out of 3. But again, the pitching has to step up. Pitch is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Singer to Miles Mastrobuoni. And obviously we've seen Ben Williamson do a good job at third, but they wanted to give Miles an opportunity to play. No Leo Rivas, but maybe we'll see him pinch hit at some point. Nemo popped up. And that was Dylan Moore earlier there. Next up is Miles Mastrobuoni. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Miles Mastrobuoni. Come on, baby. Top of the second, 2-0 Mariners. Pitch is high and in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Singer to Mastrobuoni. Come on, Miles. Mastrobuoni in the box. Singer on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 2 outs for the Seattle Mariners. Yeah, like I said, we got a couple guys in the farm that we could definitely be thinking about calling up pretty soon, you would think. I mean, even though they might not be fully ready, but can it really get any worse than what we're getting with Emerson Hancock and Luis F. Castillo? I mean, obviously Kirby will be ready here in a couple weeks, but yeah, Sloan looks nice. Logan Evans looks nice. Durangelo looks nice. I mean, and of course, some of these guys aren't ready yet. Oh, and he dropped it in foul territory. Wow. Wow, what a break for the Mariners there in foul territory. And then that's a walk. Wow. Okay. Mastrobuoni to first. We got guys at first and second. And, it's not going to be often where you're going to be able to have a guy that's 3-0 with an ERA of just at 3. That's arguably one of their best pitchers on the squad. We have to be able to take advantage as much as we can. Next up is shortstop J.P. Crawford. If we can get something going here, it could be huge. I mean, even cutting into the lead and getting it to 2-1, just mentally, for our team playing this early. And normally the Mariners are not a very good morning and early afternoon team. And then, obviously when we play in Seattle in that 4 to 6 range with the sun, and based on how the ballpark is situated, very hard to hit in that time area. So hopefully we can find a way to be competitive here. Behind the count now, 0-2. Pitch is high and tight. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Singer to Crawford. Pitch is inside, almost hits him. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Singer to Crawford. But again, we're not striking out like the way that we were in the last 2 to 3 years. We've had injuries that have definitely impacted the team, but we've had a little bit of Uncle Mo and momentum as well. Especially in that springboard game, being down 5-0 to the Stros. Came back and scored 7 runs in those 2 innings in the 8th and the 9th to beat the Stros 7-6 and win the series 2-1. Then we ended up sweeping the Rangers. So, sometimes you need those kind of wins to be able to make things happen. Now count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. I mean, I don't really expect a home run or anything, but he definitely is due for a big RBI or a big home run at some point. If it's not this series, maybe next series against the Blue Jays in Toronto. I know he'll play good there more than likely. A lot of the players will step up against Toronto for sure. Oh, throw to second to try to tag him. Oh, he's safe. Fouled that one off with the sinker. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full. Come on, baby. I disagree with that. Look at the standings right now. The Giants and the Padres. I mean, obviously we know the Dodgers in the postseason are amazing. And really the only team that typically could match up with them, is them. As long as they don't have injuries, the only one that can beat them is themselves. But I don't think anyone anticipated, in foul territory, and that goes down. But I don't think anyone really anticipated the Giants being so much better in the last few years until now. And then obviously the Padres, if you look at the records, the National League is much better than the American League. And who knows if the Padres or the Giants could even make a deep postseason run or if they would choke. But it seems like it's a little bit more competitive than it's just the Dodgers and nobody else. So I disagree with that. We don't need no Dodger slander. Padres and Giants are looking better than the Dodgers. I would know. I watch all their games more than likely, and my dad's a big fan. And they've had a little slump at the 5 through 9 order, and some injuries to their pitchers as well. So again, it's early in the season, but again, you would think as long as you have the best player in the world in Shohei Ohtani, you're going to have a chance to win, just like with Tom Brady and Gronk and Belichick with the Patriots. That's going to be the favored team to win it every single year. But as you know, no matter how good you are, you're not going to win every year. There's going to be other teams that step up, or you're going to get injured and someone's going to get you. And again, there's still going to be a very good team, but who's to say that it might not be their year this year? Maybe it'll be the Padres, maybe the Giants, or someone else. Top of the second, 2-0 Reds. 2 on with 2 outs, 3-2 pitch. And JP pops up, and unfortunately, we are not able to bring those guys home. But at least a good start, for the Mariners, at least getting a couple guys on instead of just striking out. And at least we ended up getting a hit there with Rowdy. And hopefully we'll be able to wear into Singer, maybe get a couple walks, maybe a hit by a pitch, and just slowly start grinding away. Go to the bottom of the second inning, 2-0 Reds. Next up for the Reds, first baseman Jaime Candelario. Batting second in the 7-hole, left fielder Blake Dunn. And batting third, right fielder Jake Fraley. Let's go Mariners. I mean, we already got a chance to see firsthand how good the Giants are. And, when you watch the Padres, what's the most amazing thing about them is their best hitter, still isn't, fully at the pace that he normally is. Luis Arraez is kind of the modern day Ichiro. And if you start off the season like 0-19 and you're still winning games with all the rest of the supporting cast and the pitching staff, just imagine once they really start rolling. I mean, they're rolling all cylinders already, but some of their guys are still not up to speed. It's kind of scary to think what their record could be if everyone gets going at the same time. But it should be an interesting year, especially, in the National League. American League, it definitely seems a little bit more even, a little bit weaker of a conference with the American League, but, you never know. It's still a little bit early. There's going to be a lot of competitiveness, and, sometimes that ends up happening where you end up having that kind of parity, in the, division where, you assume certain teams are going to break out, but really what's going to happen is that the I feel the Mariners are going to be exactly where they normally should be. Hopefully slightly a little bit better, obviously than last year. The A's and the Angels are better than last year. And then the Astros and Rangers are worse. So again, you're going to get a little bit of shifting in the AL West as well as the American League. Let's go, Hancock. First pitch to Candelario. First pitch strike. 0-1 count. Popped up. Behind the count now, 0-2. And any photos or anything that you want to be able to see reflect, let me know. Appreciate you. 0-2 pitch. Pitch is outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to Candelario. Come on, Emerson. Wake up, my guy. That's chop foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're gonna need the Griffey bobble in full effect today. 1-2 pitch. Foul. Wow. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Like we need, what do we need? 3 more to get to 10, 2 more to get to 10. And if we get to 20, we can get in the algorithm, even though it's early. Candelario on the box, Hancock on the mound. Let's go, baby. And if we can get even like 3 to 4 Ks out of Hancock, instead of getting, the 7 to 10 where, most pitchers try to get, even getting half of that could be huge here to keep us close. That's chop foul. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Reds. Hayes with a 2-run jack. 1-2 pitch. Pitch is inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There we go. Nice punch out by Emerson Hancock. You're not going to see too many of those. Way to get that electricity going and a way to get your confidence and your swagger up. Nice job, Hancock. Next up is left fielder Blake Dunn. First pitch strike to Dunn, 0-1 count. Yeah, agreed. That should be a good test. Giants, though, are a very good home and away team. Normally they can, especially when they're hot and whatnot. So a little flip to first, 2 away. Next up is Jake Fraley. Giants are actually one of the best teams in Major League Baseball on the road. They're 9-3. There's nobody that has a better record than that on the road. So they're battle tested. Cubs are 8-5 on the road, but 9-3 on the road. That's pretty epic, if you ask me. Where you have obviously, and they started off the year obviously in the first couple series on the road. So. Chop foul, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We might be able to get another punch out here by Hancock. When's the best time to get a punch out? After you already got one. Let's go. Just like in hockey, when's the best time to be able to score a goal? As soon as you just get one. Sometimes in hockey, you'll get a goal. 30 seconds later, you get another one. Pitch is low and outside. Gets away from Cal Raleigh. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Hancock. Let's go. Get this K. Bottom of the second, 2-0 Reds. 2 outs, nobody on. Rayleigh in the box. 2-2 pitch. Chopper towards first, foul. Got him. Wow. 96 by Emerson Hancock. Nice job. There you go. Fraley goes down. That's the end of the second inning. Let's get the bats going. Let's go and see who's up next here for the Seattle Mariners. Here in the top of the third, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. We need you to step up, my guy. Let's go. Batting second, 0 for 1. You know, he'll get a hit at some point in this game, DHing Jorge Polanco. And batting third, the switch hitter that hit 2 homers yesterday, 1 from the left and 1 from the right. 0 for 0 so far with a walk. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Torpedo bat, it fucking works. Let's go. Yeah, and well, it's like Uncle Mo, man, momentum. You know, momentum can go in both ways. You know, you can be consistent throughout the whole season, you know, but injuries, confidence, you know, and or just getting beat up, you know, a couple games, and then it starts to get mental, you know, and once things start to get a little mental, then you start thinking about, and if you start doubting yourself or your abilities, then if, you know, the whole team isn't on board, one win, you know, ends up turning into a loss. And then one loss turns into 2, that turns into 3, and then they start second guessing themselves. So I assume you bet on them to win the game and you lost on the parlay or something, or you had some kind of bet on them. Why sports is hard to bet on. You know, even we were talking about the Dodgers and the Rockies, right? You know, betting on the Dodgers for sure thing. They only won by 1 run last night. So yes, they won, you know, but again, you know, sports is crazy. Like, you know, a lot of times when you look at something on a stat sheet and you think, easy win. And then sometimes that other team actually brings their A+ effort. And yeah, you know, sometimes that, you know, power team like the Dodgers might win, but it might be closer than people think. And it definitely was last night. Popped up. Julio Rodriguez, come on, baby. 1 away. We need you, Julio. And we got Wu, Gilbert, and Castillo for the Mariners rotation. And I should hopefully be able to do the Wu and Gilbert game. Obviously, if the Gilbert game goes from 12 to 2:30, WrestleMania starts at 4. So that would still give me enough time to take Paisley on a walk and then get settled in. But I'll probably have to make both thumbnails in advance if I'm going to try to do that. I love watching the Blue Jays, so it's like I don't really want to miss 2 games if I don't have to. You know, even if that means we do 2 streams in one day, and I'm, you know, sitting in the chair for like 9 hours. But WrestleMania is going to be from like 4 to 8, roughly, maybe even longer, and then obviously 12 to 2:30, unless the game goes extra. 1-1 count here in the top of the third. 2-0 Reds. 1 out with Julio and a fly out. Pitches inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. That's why, like with me, you know, I'm a little superstitious, but I mean, I'm always looking at everything, you know, every single deciding factor: home, way, grass, turf, you know, morning, afternoon, night, who's pitching, how they've been doing the last few starts, you know, who's in the lineup, is there any backups in there? Like, you know, again, sometimes people can just blatantly just bet and just, you know, throw darts at a wall, and sometimes you will hit, you know, or sometimes just looking at the strong team that is normally great and then a weak team. But, you know, that's how they get you in betting, because you just never know when the weak team is going to show up and steal a game. Polo with a strikeout. I don't know about that. Holy hell. That's rough. 2 away. Singer wheeling and dealing. I see you, Brady. Stop it, Brady. Brady is just wheeling and dealing. Next up is big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Slow start, and again, I figured, you know, it's going to be this way for the first 6 innings, unless we can get lucky and get like a run or 2 at some point, you know, in maybe the 4th or 5th inning, just to kind of cut into the lead. I don't even necessarily think we need 2. If we can just hold them to 2 and get 1 run, you know, by like the 4th or the 5th, that will definitely give us the confidence. moving forward. And again, if Hancock only gives up 2, we should be able to rally late in the game. But that might be a big if. That might be the only, the beginning of Emerson Hancock giving up that 2-run blast. There may be another home run that he gives up or RBI before we bring in our pen. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by Cal, finding the count 0-2. And down goes Cal Raleigh. Wow, you don't see that often. 1, 2, 3, Singer wheeling and dealing. Let's go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and see what we have up for Emerson Hancock. So far, besides the one, home run that he gave up, he's been doing pretty good. He's only given up 2 hits, and then one of them was a homer. So, again, 6 runs in the 1st inning in his first start with his ERA of 81, and then we sent him down. So, if we're really going to criticize or, point out what he's doing, good, bad, or indifferent, he's much better today than he was, obviously, in that first start. But you don't want to give up home runs, and he's halfway through to the 6th inning, but again, much better than what he was. You don't want to really give up home runs, but again, 6 runs in the 1st inning, got sent down to AAA. You give up a homer, but you've only given up 2 hits, the homer and 1 other. So, much better. And let's see if he can continue. And he's got a couple Ks. So, and he wasn't really being able to do that early on as well. So, if everything goes to plan, maybe he gives up maybe 1 more, hopefully none, and then maybe gets 1 or 2 more Ks for like 4 or 5, and then we might be in business, and we might have a chance in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Let's go. Let's see who's up next here for the Reds. Next up in the 9-hole, catcher Austin Wins. Back at the top of the order, center fielder TJ Friedel. And batting 3rd in the 2-hole, 3rd baseman Santiago Espinal. Let's go Mariners. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Trying to get to that 20 like number within the first hour and a half to hit the algorithm. And then we'll get more recommendations by YouTube. And obviously, we're trying to hit 100 in the donos on every stream. We're at 20, 80 to go. Let's go, Mariners. Maybe you need to pivot and start betting on different sports. Instead of, betting on the NHL, maybe do a little bit more on the NBA and the MLB. Sometimes if you start to go on a little bit of a skid, with parlays or betting, and, you just don't really feel that you got the knack for it, for how things are going, you might have to pivot, to another sport. I know you kind of bet all the way around. Sometimes you're doing hockey, baseball, basketball, like in all one parlay and whatnot. But sometimes you may need to pivot to, maybe more bets in another sport, less NHL bets. Maybe do like 1 NHL bet and then do, NBA and MLB bets, instead, or something of that nature. 1-1 count from Hancock to Wins, and it goes foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Emerson Hancock. Let's go. But bottom line, betting is hard. No matter, how much of an expert you feel that you are in sports, there's always going to be a way for the house to win, and again, there's always a reason why that the point spread, is what it is, because they go back and look at every matchup that they played in the last 10 years. They're not just looking, at recent history. They go back, and that's how they go through all their analytics and metrics to get you. And every once in a while, you can come out on top, but most of the time, the house will win. Popped up, and that fades foul. Nice souvenir for a fan there. Bottom of the 3rd, 2-0 Reds. Hancock on the mound, Wins in the box. Yeah, and maybe, maybe don't bet, on the lower end teams, on the NBA, try to, maybe go for more of the powerhouse teams, not just who's playing. Big swing and a miss there. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Because, if I was doing NBA, I wouldn't be betting, on the lower end, it's like I would only be betting on the higher end. Big swing and a miss. And obviously, if you're doing baseball, you have to look at the pitching and the lineups. And then you have to look at day, night, home and away records. And if you look at that, that'll help you a lot more. Big swing and a miss. There we go. Got him. All right, Hancock. All right, Emerson. Much better. Next up, TJ Radom in their first strike, 0-1 count. But hell of a lot better, start here. And, this guy, I feel, even though he gave up the 6 runs in his first start, he's better than Luis F. Castillo. Luis F. Castillo, isn't really good either. But if I had to choose one or the other, I would choose, I think, Emerson. But I would love to be able to see, some of the other guys get a chance, especially in the farm, like Ryan Sloan or Logan Evans or Durangelo for that matter. Chopper. You also have to look at who's playing, on the team. Like, if they got Anthony Davis over there and they got Clay, who do they got on Sacramento that you feel that can match up? So sometimes you have to actually look at the players that are playing in the matchup itself. And again, anybody can beat anyone on any given day, no doubt about that. Pitches outside, but I know I wouldn't be making any bets, with the Kings. You know what? The White Sox, though, are a little bit better than people are thinking this year, though. They've been able to steal a few games this year. Popped up, and Julio gets it 2 away. Right. And then you never know when Clay goes off, right? So it's like, obviously the Luka trade has already happened, but, you'd have to look at the starting lineups and see, okay, what guys have a chance to put up 20 points or more, and if guys cook together, they might combine for 50 or 60, and then you have to look at the other side. It's like, okay, you might got like Sabonis, and you're looking over there, but usually you can look at starting lineups, and as long as no one gets hurt, kind of have somewhat of an idea. But again, teams can always have bad games as well. Homer on the road. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Reds, 2 outs, 1-0 count from Hancock to Espinal. Pitches inside, 2 balls and no strike. Yeah, and and again, normally the Red Sox, that should be like, a for sure thing. But again, since they've had struggles early in the year, we got to be a little bit more cautious, with certain picks. Sometimes when a team has not been at, hitting it full stride, and then you play a team that you think you should win, but you're not really full stride yet, then you can end up dropping a game, So then you have to really look at the pitching. But I told you Crochet was going to be money off entering and being on the team. 3-1 count from Hancock to Espinal. Plus another, good stat to look at is like plus minus, to be able to, do that not only in football, but obviously in other sports as well. JP bobbles it. Wow, what a defensive jab. Got him. And JP has been active here today. That could have been an error. And again, he's been very active there. There definitely could have been more hits. He bobbled it midair, captured it, threw it to first, got him. And defense is definitely helping out Emerson Hancock here today. He looks much, much better. And besides the 2-run jack, now it's just our duty just to do what we do. Just try to get a few runs here. Magic number is 4 runs, 7 to 10 hits. It's not like we're down 6-0 right now. Now, if Brian Wu was on the mound, the same thing could have happened. He could have given up 2 hits and had a fastball, 97 down the middle. Boom. Hayes hits a home run, and we're in the same position, even with Wu on the mound. So hopefully we can find a way to get the bats going here, either in the 4th or the 5th or the 6th. Because I know they're going to come alive after Singer goes out, 100%. But how much are we going to be down by that point? That's the question. Next up, left fielder, 0 for 1 with a K, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, right fielder, Luke Rayleigh. And batting third, first baseman, Rowdy Tellez. Let's go Mariners. And I already felt like going into the season that he would be a Cy Young candidate, like legit, And obviously we know how great, Skubal and Skeens are. They're always going to get all the love. But, if you ever got a chance to watch, and not a lot of people are going to watch all the teams play. Of course, if you bet, you're going to be paying attention a little bit more, or if you got MLB TV or MLB extra innings. But it really does come down to a lot of stats and analytics. And that'll help with making more of the decision making. But again, if you're just looking at starting pitching and home and away record, and I'm going to pick this team, then you can get really in trouble. You have to go deeper, and the more research and the more digging you do, the better chances you're going to be able to win money. And sometimes even when you dig deep and get all the stats and you line yourself right, sometimes you still lose, because that's how sports works. You never know what unexpected things are going to happen with a bullpen or an injury, or just hot play by a team that's not good, and they bring their A+ effort, against a team that's much better than them, which happens sometimes, right? Lauren in the building, what's good? All right, Randy Arozarino with a walk. I like that, baby. Let's go. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We need 5 more to get to 20, and we hit that algorithm. So if you haven't done it yet, Lauren, do your boy a solid. Looks like you just did. Thank you so much. Now we only need 4 more to get to 20. Randy with the walk, and this is a good sign here. If you can get another guy on, right? I'm not saying that he's going to go back-to-back walks, but again, anytime you get, 4th inning, 5th inning, when guys are supposed to go 6, and you get 2 guys on with no outs, that's when you can really start to do some damage. Strike swinging there by Rayleigh. Rayleigh really hasn't been able to be comfortable in the box so far this year. Slider with a strike swinging behind in the count 0-2. We need to figure out, a replacement in right field and first base. Those are glaring weaknesses, with Rayleigh offensively and defensively, and especially with Tellez or, whoever they decide to put, at first base. But we need better players there. Get these guys in the farm. Nice job, Randy, with that walk. Sinker in the top of the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Singer to Rayleigh. And again, once Luke hits one, he'll crush it out of frustration, double-decker or triple-decker out of the stadium. He'll get it, but he definitely is, a lot slower. And again, super aggressive, kind of like Julio. And again, he needs to settle in and not try to go for moonshots. Just try to get on base, walk, bunt, hit my pitch, don't get injured. Go for singles, not homer swings. If you can change your mentality of not trying to be like Julio, and you try to be like, Rivas or some of these other guys, Ben Williamson, JP, where you're trying to work the count a little bit more, Polanco, you're going to have better results. And again, you're pressing, and it shows. Here we go. Back. See ya! Oh, baby, let's go. I told y'all it was coming at some point or another. And there it is. Nice job. He said, O-Dog has been pressing me, full court press. Boom, there it is. And I knew it was coming at some point or another, whether he needs to go for some singles and then that home run eventually comes. But he's been pressing. And then finally he got the pitch that he needed. Boom, 2-2. And now we're going to have a very good chance to win this game. But again, I wouldn't have minded him just going for a nice single down first base or third base just to get the confidence going. Here we go. And eventually, good things happen. Let's go, Luke. Hell yeah. And I was going to say, if he didn't end up hitting a home run there, just take some singles and then let that home run come either today or maybe in the Toronto series that gets the pitch that he needed. Back. See ya. All the way back, 20 rows. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Next up is Rowdy Tellez. Let's go. Way to bring that electricity, baby. Let's go. 2 balls and 1 strike from Singer to Tellez. And again, it's just about getting on base. And again, if Randy doesn't get the walk, it's only a solo jack. Just being able to get on base. You never know when that next guy who's been struggling can unexpectedly do something crazy. Rowdy Tellez hitting a home run. Luke Rayleigh struggling, finally hitting his first. At some point, good things will happen if you're patient. And luckily, we end up getting something good there. Count now is full to Rowdy Tellez. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's go. Let's go. Luke, I am your father. And he's overdue. And let's be real. Luke he's already, based on his swings, he should already be at like 3 or 4 home runs at this point early in the season. Again, but pressing really hard. And luckily, being overly aggressive finally paid off. And, going for that home run swing and getting that ball that they needed. Tellez flied out, 1 away. Good shit, man. We're going to have a good chance now. Hell yeah. It's just about getting those runs early and knocking that guy down. Next up is a guy that's been super hot, Dylan Moore. 0 for 1. Takes a strike looking with a sinker. 0-1 count. Let's go, Demo. I actually would rather have Locklear than Tellez. Again, he's going to be struggling, sometimes, hitting the ball. But defensively, being a young guy, he's kind of like a Ty France. So I would actually bring, him up. But it seems like the organization doesn't think that he's good enough, and they would rather go another route. Nice single by Demo. But again, if it had to be Rowdy Tellez or Locklear, give me, even though Tellez got a hit today, I would rather go Locklear. But I don't know. The organization seems like, they want to give him more time to, hone his skills, obviously in the farm before they bring him up again. Next up, a guy that has been getting better and better each time he gets a chance to play. Third baseman, Miles Mastrobuoni. Takes a strike down into the pipe. Sinker, down low, 0-1 count. But I still think that, he could be a guy that could, be streaky at the plate, but defensively, probably better than anyone else that we got that's playing that position. But, too bad we can't have like, Rivas or Mastrobuoni that was good enough, even though, Rivas is too small to play first. But, have someone that actually is a good player offensively and defensively, get more reps. But Demo doing his thing. I love that, baby. 1 ball and 1 strike from Singer to Mastrobuoni. Let's go. Singer, 3-0 with a 3.18 ERA. And guess what? We got a guy that's 0-1 with an ERA of 81, matching up with him pitch for pitch so far here today. Let's go. Foul ball with that cutter. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Singer to Mastrobuoni. Top of the 4th, 2-2. Let's go, baby. But Luke has been overdue for like fucking 8 games. Finally, I'm glad that he got it done. And, Luke got it done in this game where we needed it the most, because it's not like we can count on necessarily Julio every day. And, Cal with the torpedo bat's been great, but he may not hit one today. So awesome to be able to see a power hitter finally connect. Just kind of crazy that it took him this long. It's like 19 games in. You would normally want someone to get their first homer, before that. But remember, Julio, has had times where he didn't get his first homer till after his 20th game. So, kind of looking like a Julio type of season for Luke Raley, this year on Julio's numbers last year. But hopefully Luke can keep it up now, get his confidence up. Stolen bag by Demo. Let's go. I didn't see that, but I did see a line drive hit a ump in the head yesterday. That one goes foul. He tried to be able to get out of the way, put his hand up, and it doinked him right in the head. Hopefully that ump is okay. First base ump, I think. Slider fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Singer to Mastrobuoni. But I'll tell you what, this team is a hell of a lot funner to watch than the previous maybe 2, 3, 4 years. It feels like, we're on the right track. So we're sending guys down, bringing guys up. Scott Service would have never done that, And again, Dan Wilson's, pinch hitting methods are still a little questionable. Like, having Garver come in for Polo because of left-handed, right hand, But again, it's like you got one of the guys that's one of the best in MLB for a guy that can't really hit. Make it make sense. But most of the decisions haven't come back to really hurt us. Even though there has been some very suspect bullpen, gains for us here in 2025. But We had kind of a rough early start, but I feel like we're just getting our footing. And once we get Kirby back and Brash, we're going to be cooking. Two-two count. Chopper towards first, foul. Have you noticed that they haven't really been challenging a whole lot using that? You know, it's like I thought that we were going to see a lot more, you know, people challenging pitches and all that, but you haven't really seen too much of that here in 2025 across the board. Wow. And Master Boney goes down. Next up is JP Crawford. But, you know, we're getting guys on, you know, pretty frequently. It's not like, you know, last year where we're just striking out, making everyone look like a Cy Young candidate, even if their ERA is 10, you know, or if it's 1. You know, so we've gotten much better with Edgar Martinez and Dan Wilson and the staff with Ichiro helping. And every once in a while, you know, you'll get like Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson coming in, giving their input. So things are, you know, on the up and up. And I still think we're going to get first or second place in the division. I really feel that, you know, 88 to 90 wins is attainable, even with this kind of rough start. And again, you know, these next few series are going to be key. And pretty soon we're going to go from the bottom of the division to the top. Popped up by JP. We leave one stranded, but that's okay. Luke Raley, the unexpected hero. Nice job, Luke. And we got a 2-run dinger to match Austin Hayes. And we're knotted up at 2, baby. Way to bring that electricity. And again, Luke, recognize you don't have to go for the moonshot every time. It worked out today, but again, we're fucking 19 games in. You know, if you would have been going for singles and working the count a little bit more, you know, maybe your swagger and confidence would have been a little bit better. Your batting average would have been better, and maybe you would have gotten your first home run maybe 10 games ago. But so be it. You know, I'm really happy that it happened, you know, sooner than later. And nice job by Luke Raley. You the man. We needed that desperately. The one thing about Luke I'll always respect is his hustle. You know, his hustle, you know, whether on defense or running to first, but we need his bat to come alive. Otherwise, you know, it's a wasted piece in right field or first base. Make your worth count. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And I like our chances, baby. Hancock's been doing good. We got that homer. My Luke Raley. Let's go. Next up, shortstop Ellie De La Cruz. 1 for 1 with a run. 1 ball and 1 strike from Hancock to Ellie De La Cruz. Let's go. Like, you know, we've seen them use it in spring training, right? And they're like testing it out, but it's like almost like I don't know. Is it like frowned upon to use it? Like you're challenging the manhood of the ump and whatnot, and you feel like if you do it, you're not going to get good calls, you know, fair calls the rest of the way. Is that why that we're not seeing it in MLB? Because they think that, you know, if you do this, you know, or, you know, even if you feel it's like legit, that you're going to get on that ump's bad side, you know, because obviously umps are supposed to call it right down the middle, but we know that doesn't happen, you know, game in and game out. So bottom of the 4th, 2-2 Mariners and Reds, Hancock on the mound. And now we have Hayes in the box. First pitch, 1-0 count from Hancock to Hayes. Ellie De La Cruz at first. And a nice hit by Ellie De La Cruz there into right field. Randy's 0 for 1 so far, but I think he will get a hit in this game. Hopefully 2 before the game is up. Takes a strike looking on a 4-seam fastball. He's got some good heat here, Emerson Hancock, 94 miles an hour, normally about 94 to 97. But again, it's all about having that control as well. Hayes grounded out into the double play, baby. Yes, and that's exactly what we need. As soon as Ellie De La Cruz gets a couple singles, you have to shut that shit down right away. And again, if you can hit him into a double play, it makes his hit kind of, not pointless, but, it erases it. And again, because when Ellie starts going, he's one of those guys that, will go 4 for 5 or maybe 0 for 5. There's a big drastic. Sometimes you'll get those 2 for 4 days or 2 for 5, but it's either really hot or just ice cold. And if you can shut down those hits early, because normally when he gets a couple singles, what happens? Later in the game, there's that big 3-run blast. But this is a good sign here moving forward. Bottom of the 4th with 2 outs. Hancock doing great. Next up, the former Dodger, Gavin Lux. First pitch, a changeup low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Takes a strike looking right down the middle for Lux. 1 ball and 1 strike. With 2 outs, let's go, baby. And Lux has been very good here against the Mariners in this particular series. Imagine the Dodgers wish they still had him. And Lux gets another fucking single, man. This guy is just on point. And again, if he was able to do this consistently with the Dodgers, they probably would have not let him go. And again, they've had some issues in their 5 to 9 hole. And I imagine they were thinking, man, if we could bring Gavin back, that would be great. But Gavin having some pretty good success here for Cincinnati. Next up, first baseman, Jaime Candelario. Let's get out of this fucking inning. Force out at second. Let's go, Mariners. I like our chances, baby. Especially when we're getting double plays, and even though Rivas isn't out there, you're getting good play out of J.P. Crawford. Let's go, baby. First pitch in there for a strike. With the changeup right on the edge. 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. And I'm so happy, we're just not getting absolutely fucking destroyed. Because I was thinking last night, when I ended up getting the news, because I follow everything Mariners. And as soon as I saw it, around 9-10 p.m., that they were going to go without Wu. And I already made a thumbnail with Wu on it. So I was like, fuck. I'm going to have to wake up earlier and modify this. And I ended up switching it for Julio. But wanted to put Cal, but, the image was facing kind of the wrong direction. But, something told me, that this was going to be a good day, and he was going to be better than he was, the previous start, that he wasn't going to give up 6 in the first inning. And so far, so good. I mean, we're not in the clear just yet, but, defense is stepping up. We're getting some of the bats to open up. And then once, obviously, Singer goes out, I think we're going to start to rate. 7th, 8th, and 9th are going to be our innings. Bottom of the 4th, 2-2, runner at first, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Hancock to Candelario. And just a little comparison, Singer, 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks. And then you got Hancock, 3.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 3 Ks. So, I mean, he's only a couple Ks behind a guy that's 3-0 with a 3 ERA. So, I mean, fuck it, we'll take that. Team fastball fouled off. Only 2 strikes from Hancock to Candelario. Get his ass. Let's go. Yes, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Getting out of the inning. Let's go. Go to the top of the 5th inning. Let's see who's up next for the Mariners. I like what I'm seeing here today. And especially, not having to use Wu today and having him, tomorrow on Apple TV+. That's going to be must-see TV. Can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a challenging series, but, I'm always up for a challenge, no matter what. Next up for the Mariners and the top of the 5th, 0 for 2 with a K, center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. Come on, J-Rod. I don't know how many photos you need me to post of you. I keep putting you on the thumb, and eventually you got to be able to deliver, my guy. Try that up. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K. He's due for a single. DH, Jorge Polanco. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Rowe. Let's go Mariners. I know you don't like Apple TV, and you don't have access to T-Mobile up there. I get it free, so I get Netflix for free. I get Apple TV Plus for free. And some plans they'll even give you Hulu for free, but I don't get that. But the thing about Apple TV Plus that I like the most is that they got the best cameras in MLB. They got 4K cameras on the broadcast. Now, as far as the announcers, are concerned, usually they're not the greatest, but you can switch the audio up, for home play announcers rather than just their announcers. And it's better than the YouTube broadcast, which is usually the worst, where they don't have good cameras or good announcing. So I know you may not like it, but they always are going to have streaming links for you to watch the game also, even if you don't have Apple TV Plus. So if you need a link to watch the game, I can give you one if you want to watch along if you don't have access. So yeah, I don't have an Apple. I'm not an iPhone guy either, bro. I'm like you. I'm a Samsung guy. I have an Apple, computer, here. I don't really have Apple products besides, because of, streaming, and I did my research. So really the only Apple thing I own is what you see me on right here with the computer itself. But other than that, I've never had an iPhone in my life. I've never, had the need to go get one. And again, the only other thing that I have is Apple TV Plus, but I wouldn't buy it. It came free with the package with my T-Mobile, So I'm not like one of these Apple ambassadors or pushing Apple down everyone's throat, But, I try to be able to look at, everything from, an even perspective. And again, 4K cameras are huge. Like, it makes the broadcast so much better, especially if you have a decent TV. But since we have Logan Gilbert, on Saturday, I think that I'm going to push myself, and I'm going to do the Mariner game at noon on Saturday. And then, there we go, Julio. Nice base knock there. And then do WrestleMania at 4. So as long as the game ends, with like 2 hours and 30 minutes, that should still give me an hour and a half, or at least an hour to make another thumbnail and rest and take Paisley for a walk, and then do WrestleMania for 4 hours after that. So it'll be a long day, but I really want to do Woo. I really want to do Logan Gilbert. And then obviously the last game will be Castillo at like 10:30 in the morning. I won't be able to do that one, but I will. And then celebrate Easter. And then I will live stream WrestleMania Day 2 on Sunday at 4. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. Oh my God. Yeah. Hey, we're Samsung bros together, man. And it seems like there's not a lot of us around anymore. It seems like almost everyone is converted to Apple. But, I'm one of those loyal people. I've always stuck with them, and I enjoy what I got, Polo, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Love the glasses that Polo has, they're very odd looking. Circular, almost like, goggles or something that you would have if you were going to be snorkeling. But they're working for him. Singer on the mound, Polo in the box. But we can be Samsung bros. Go to first, he's safe. Yeah, he's got the raving. I like it, dude. It's cool looking. At first I was like, what is he wearing? But then it kind of started to grow on me a little bit. There we go. Polo single to right. Safe at second on a throwing error. Woo! By right fielder, Fraley. Woo! Let's go. We're about to score here. And this is where the momentum starts to take off, baby. And again, Polo, being a guy that was a zero to a hero, and it's nice to see at least one of the two between him and Mitch Garver, someone stepping up. But I don't think anyone anticipated Polo being one of the best players in MLB. I mean, hell, if he keeps playing like this, he might make an all-star game. I mean, Logan Gilbert, Cal Raleigh, Polo, that would be sweet, dude. And again, imagine if we didn't have Polo, what our record would be right now. We would definitely have 4, 5, 6 more losses without Polo. And even him being the DH, and I know they were thinking that he'd be the third baseman or be a second baseman if we needed him. At this point, you know, if he can't really defend anyways, even if he wants to play defense, you're going to be a liability. You know, he's got kind of a noodle arm. He couldn't really do second base defense, and if he's going to be throwing from third to first, it's even harder. So just keep him at DH the whole year, and that solves that problem. Now, you know, we don't have to worry about the DH the rest of the year, and we got one of the best hitters in the game, and we don't have to worry about his body getting strained defending, you know, hard hit foul balls or hard hit balls in play. You know, let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Rodriguez scored. Official scoring ruling is pending here. Polo to third. Let's see what happens here, but they got us at 3-2. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like it. I like it. I like it, baby. And it's okay. Cal can do Cal things to help guys get in. I like it. Let's go, baby. Next up, Singer to Randy Arozarena. Fouls off the first one, is a sinker. And Ellie De La Cruz making another error. 2 errors in 3 games. Thank you so much. Julio says, thank you. Cal Raleigh, you the man. And now Randy Arozarena. And again, Ellie is normally pretty good at defense, but had the error with a single in the first part of the game with Julio. And again, same type of thing right here. Doesn't time it just right, and maybe those too long of legs and arms are, you know, going to be an issue. Because most guys that play shortstop are small. They're not big guys. Ellie looks like a guy that would play center field. And if you're not timing it right with those big long legs and long arms, sometimes that's what happens, and we'll fucking take it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Strike swinging got him. Singer got Randy. We should be able to get at least 1 more run here. I was really hoping Randy could get a nice little walk or an RBI, but he struck out swinging. That's all right. 1 out, 3-2 Mariners. Let's go. Oh, could we get another home run? Come on, Luke. This would be the game to go crazy. You want to go cray? Go to the cray-cray. 2 home runs in 1 game. Really give us that lift for Hancock. Come on, Luke. When's the best time to get a home run? After you just got one. Fuck yeah. So happy that I decided to not say fuck it and just watch this game with Paisley. Randy just bat goes flying. And they're going to go to the bullpen and make a pitching change. 3-2 Mariners off of Ellie De La Cruz error. Julio comes home. Top of the 5th, 1 out. Runners on the corners. And again, this is exactly what we were hoping that could happen. You know, you don't expect a guy like Singer 3-0 with an ERA of 3 going against a guy that's 0-1 with an ERA of 81 to be able to kind of hang close, but the bats be able to. And this is the difference between this Mariner team compared to last year. You know, we had that springboard win against the Astros. We swept the Rangers, obviously split, you know, with the Reds. And even without having Wu playing, we're finding ways to be able to believe in ourselves. And I imagine some of the players this morning were like, oh God, you know, we got Hancock on the mound. This is going to be terrible. But sometimes you got to, you know, give a little bit of faith and think, okay, he gave up 6 runs in the first and he got benched and sent to AAA. Maybe he's going to be a little bit better. He still will probably fuck up a little bit, but if the bats do their job, you know, we should be able to keep it close. And so far, so good. Let's go, baby. Now they're going to bring in Donovan Solano, for Luke Raley. I don't know about that. I don't know about this move. So he's going from lefty, righty pitcher, and you know, you're going to make that adjustment. But it seems like when Dan Wilson does this, he has to realize a lot of the guys that we do have are switch. You know, that he ends up, you know, going that route. But we'll see if it works. Like you're almost trying to put him in a position to succeed here, but I don't know if I would really want Solano hitting. He's like Rowdy Tellez. They're the 2 worst players on the team right now. I mean, if Solano gets on with a walk or a hit by pitch, maybe. First pitch is inside, 1-0 count. Sinker inside, 2-0 count. Here we go. Take the walk, you son of a bitch. Don't even swing, Solano. You're terrible. Just take the walk. Don't even fucking swing. Help the team. In play. Yes, there we go. Sack fly. There you go. You did your job. Polo scores 4-2 Mariners. Woo! You like that, baby? Solano, finally. You know, even when you get out, at least bring a guy home. You know, make it deep enough where we can actually get that sack fly. You know, and you're still terrible, but again, that's a good enough for Polo to come home. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Looks like that decision worked out, and now we're going to have Williamson in for Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, Ben. Love me some Ben. Should be our everyday third baseman moving forward. First pitch outside. Good eye by Ben Williamson. Let's go, baby. 1-0 count. We might be able to get another one here before this inning ends if we're lucky, but you know, we may end up just ending it here, but you never know. Man, things got crazy. Ellie De La Cruz with another error, right? Line drive, and being a big body at shortstop with long arms and long legs when you should be playing center field. Hard hit ball that brings in a run, and then we had Solano sacrifice coming in, and obviously you know, he ended up coming in for Luke Raley, which is, you know, you bring in a new pitcher, I don't know, but again, it ends up working out for Dan Wilson, and now we got Ben Williamson coming in for Rowdy Tellez, so they're really trying to get everyone involved in this game. Rodriguez scored. Polo safe at third. Raleigh safe at first on a fielding error by De La Cruz. And then Solano hit a sac fly for Polo, scoring 4-2. And now we got Ben Williamson here in the box. Now, I was going to say, I figured that you had to step away to do something real quick. And what a great opportunity to be able to take advantage of Ellie's, you know, inability to be able to play defense at shortstop. You know, 2 errors, and they've cost, you know, the Reds big time on those big errors as well. And Cal Raleigh with a stolen bag. I mean, even when we don't get additional guys home, you're seeing how aggressive the Mariners are trying to get that guy, you know, into second base and scoring position. You know, even if we aren't able to bring him home, just the simple fact that we're threatening, you know, stealing bases, and we're really fucking good at it. Who says a dumper can't run, huh? And Williamson hard hit into the outfield, and that stops the bleeding temporarily. Hey, this is what happens, you know, when you start to believe. Mariners 4, Reds 2. And again, also it helps when they have 3 guys or 4 guys that are rotational players. That was kind of the key for me. You know, if it was their starters, could have got ugly. But again, sometimes we'll have a couple guys that are fill-in guys as well. And it looks like this decision by moving Wu to tomorrow against the Blue Jays was very, very smart. And it also gives an opportunity for Hancock to get some swagger back, you know, and realize that, hey, you know, I was a first-round pick. I looked terrible, you know, early on. But he's got 4 Ks. And remember, I told y'all we're going to get that ERA down. It's down from 81 to 15. Let's go. You're not going to see too many guys go from an ERA of 81 to 15 in one game, baby. Let's go. And then pretty soon, maybe his next start, you know, depending on with Kirby, you know, when he comes back, maybe we can get that down to 10. And then eventually get it down to 5. And then if it sticks around, you know, 4 to 5, you know, that's kind of what we expect anyways. Let's go Mariners, baby. You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
Oh my gosh.
Next up, in the bottom of the 5th for Hancock versus Blake Dunn. 2 balls and 1 strike from Hancock to Dunn. Sinker changeup from Emerson Hancock. Let's go. Yeah, I like him a lot, man. Like I said, I really am falling in love with a lot of the farm guys, and I get it. Some aren't ready, but I mean, I'm telling you, once we start to weed out some of the weak links and make them rotational guys, and we can start bringing up some guys in the farm, and if some of them can stick, in certain positions, I mean, it'll be really exciting, especially bringing up some of the, pitchers that you mentioned and I mentioned as well. So, like, we got 3 guys that could be, most likely 10 guys. Maybe 1 guy could be a starter, possibly, at one point down the road. But, just getting better guys to help us win, period. In play, and Dunn grounded out to second. There we go, baby, 1 away. I love what I'm seeing here by Emerson Hancock. Could we get that ERA down even lower than 15, baby? Let's go. Bye-bye, Blake Dunn. Next up, Jake Fraley. Let's go. In play. And that's a single to left by Fraley. Time for a double play now with backup catcher, Austin Wins. John in the building. What's good? Reflect. Are you a Samsung bro as well? Are you part of the Samsung bro? Are we brohams with the Samsung? I thought I was the only one. He said the pager. In play, and Wentz flies out to center, 2 away. Next up, center fielder TJ Friedel. Bottom of the 5th, 4-2 Mariners, and this is the best thing that Emerson Hancock could have asked for. Run support early, getting Singer out before the 6th inning, and doing damage and getting some guys to step up in the most major way. And again, if we win this game and win this series, there's a good chance that we can win 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays. And if we win the first 2 games, with Wu and with Logan Gilbert, we might be able to sweep, at that 3rd game if, that were to happen. Again, it will be Castillo, and that's kind of iffy, but you never know. But 2 out of 3, instead of winning 1 out of 3 or getting swept is much better moving forward. Now, Garber ain't playing today. That's why we're doing good. If Garber was playing, we wouldn't be at 4-2 right now. Garber will probably be the catcher for Castillo on Sunday. So for your Blue Jays that you root for, against our Mariners, even though I know you root for the Mariners as well, that might be the game that you win, when Garber has to call pitches for Castillo. But Wu and Gilbert, I don't think that, it'll take a lot for us to lose those games. Especially the way that we're playing lately. Get his ass. Got him at second. What a throw by Cal Raleigh. Woo! That's what I'm fucking talking about. Great defensive prowess by Cal. You don't steal on fucking Cal Raleigh. What you smoking? Huh? You don't go on this. He can do more than just hit home runs from the left and the right. Best defensive catcher in the game. All right, baby, let's go to the top of the 6th. Let's keep adding on, baby. Let's go. Next up, 1 for 2, second baseman, Demo Dylan Moore. Batting second in the 8-hole, third baseman, Miles Mastrobuoni. And batting third, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Let's go, Mariners.
You dream of heaven. You dream of. Oh my gosh.
Next up in the box, give up on the mound. New pitcher in there for Cincinnati. First pitch fouled off, 0-1 count for Demo, who's been playing fantastic for us this year. Four-seam fastball and a strike swinging. Sweeper in play. Baby, that's a single to second. That's my guy, Demo, staying hot. I mean, I don't think anyone anticipated on planet Earth Polo and Demo being so good this season. And again, you know, we got guys that are big names like Julio and Cal, but again, sometimes you need those other role players to step up. Fucking A, let's go. Next up, another guy that we like that's been stepping up, Miles Mastrobuoni. Obviously lost, some playing because they ended up bringing up Ben Williamson, but now they're going to move him to first. Obviously there for Rowdy Tellez, at least the rest of the game. Solano moves to first base. Or let's see, where's Solano going to go? Is Solano going to be at first? Solano, well, he pinched in for Rayleigh in right field, and then they had Tellez at first. So I guess we'll see where they move these guys when it all settles in. But hopefully Miles Mastrobuoni can continue what he's doing. First pitch, right at the bottom at the knees, forcing fastball, 1-0 count. Ooh, Dylan Moore just got caught stealing. I mean, we're super aggressive out there, and again, I guess, we get one from Cal, and they said, hey, we're going to get you right back. Nice throw by Austin Wins there. Damn it. And it's, and again, we're going to get caught stealing here and there, especially when we're in the top 2 in MLB in attempts. And obviously we're successful, like 80 to 90% of the time, but unfortunate there. Second pitch inside at the knees, 2-0 count from the Mastrobuoni. Yeah, but if Solano was at first, in that position, right, for Tellez, and you're going to put Williamson at the natural position at third, but Mastrobuoni has to move to right field, and that's what they're going to do. 3 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, because again, if Ben is a natural third baseman, it wouldn't really make any sense to have him play anywhere besides third. So I don't know if Mastrobuoni can play right field, but I guess we'll find out. And Mastrobuoni with a walk, baby. That's one thing Mastrobuoni can do. There you go. Work the count. I love that. And again, they really needed, if they were going to win this game, they really needed Singer to go 6, and have the bats come alive. Next up is shortstop J.P. Crawford. Top of the 6, 4-2 M's. And with this electricity that we have, we're going to have a very good chance. With Wu, Gilbert, and Castillo. Obviously, I have more confidence in Wu and Gilbert in the first few games. The Castillo, especially if Garber is going to be the catcher in that game, that could be a little sus, but we'll see. I do. And I have been. I try to do about 150 out of 162 games in a season, leaving a little wiggle room for like Daytona, Talladega, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, where there might be a couple games that I have to do, something else that's bigger. But, my goal is to do 150 games out of 162 in the regular season every year. And I've been full-time now for about 4. I've been recording for, 13? 9 on YouTube. Next year will be 14 years. 10 on YouTube next year. So let's go, baby. He's better. He's better than Hollywood Rojas. 2 balls and 1 strike from the ball. to JP Crawford. But nobody does more, games on YouTube than me. So I feel like I kind of represent the YouTube community for the Seattle Mariners, as well as the Oregon Ducks and quite a few other things. I'll do a little Blazers, little Kraken for filler streams, lots of NFL, lots of college football, WWE, NASCAR. I do it all. Top of the sixth, 4-2 Mariners. Runner at first with 1 out, 2-2 count from good ball to JP Crawford. Hopefully we can get on base here with like a walk. Would love for him to be able to drop down a bunt.
You dream of heaven.
I appreciate that. Takes a lot of hard work. In play, grounded out to second. Master Boney to second. 2 outs with a runner at second now. Oh, JP. But at least JP works the count in almost every single at bat. And hopefully he'll be able to get going a little bit better as the season goes on. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run and a K. Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. And really the key with Julio right now is if you hit a line drive to Ellie De La Cruz, he might throw an error to first, or he might bobble it. And again, 2 errors by Ellie in this series. Seems like for a guy with long legs and long arms that maybe should be a center fielder instead. Sometimes he makes those amazing plays, but depending on if he's out of position, there could be something there. Foul ball on that cutter with 1 count. And typically the second pitch will be a big swing and a miss, behind in the count 0-2, but we'll see if that happens. Or it'll end up being a pop-up or fly-out. Down goes Julio. And again, for a guy that's so happy-go-lucky and so popular, again, you just want him to be like some of the other superstars in the MLB, and he's, just not there yet. And again, he's really good at defense, running the bags, but again, if you ever want to be able to be a perennial all-star and be in consideration for a Hall of Famer, you're going to have to be able to learn how to be patient in the box. And if you never learn that, it's never going to happen. You're just going to be known as a good, popular player, that maybe didn't fully get there. But, Julio has the, type of potential where he could end up playing 15 to 20 seasons, and again, normally you don't hit your prime until year 7 to 10 if you play like 15, 16 or more. So again, he's still, kind of figuring it out, but, again, definitely behind the 8 ball based off, I think our expectations, of being like the Ken Griffey Jr. 2.0. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 4-2 Mariners. 6 hits for the Mariners. Beautiful. 2 errors by the Reds. Love it. Let's go M's. Yes, that is my channel. Appreciate the sub. Bottom of the 6th. 4-2 Mariners. Next up, 0 for 2, center fielder TJ Friebel. Batting second, third baseman in the 2-hole, Santiago Espinal. And batting third, shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz. Yeah, I think I should be the only one out there with Northwest Sports Fanatics, unless someone is playing off my name with like something Sports Fanatics or whatever. I imagine there's a few channels that are using my name, in that regard. But yeah, NW4, obviously Northwest. Let's go. Great game today. And again, another thing about the Mariners, in 2025, the Astros and Rangers are worse this year and years past. The Angels and, the Athletics are better than last year. But again, it puts the Mariners in a great position to be able to take advantage of that, of the Astros and Rangers being worse, Angels and A's being better, but the Mariners could end up winning 88, to 90 games. And I still believe that is the number moving forward until we end up hitting that number regularly. And then we can go for like 95 wins down the road. But let's just try to get to the playoffs first and try to get first or second place in the AL West. Single there by Freedom off a sinker and then another sinker in play. We got to get a double play now. Nice job by TJ. And we have Gabe Spire in, which is a little unusual for Gabe to give up something like that. Third baseman, Santiago Espinal. Let's go, Gabe. Nice outing by Emerson Hancock. His ERA was 81 to start the game. He got it all the way down to 12.71. Nice job, Emerson. Fantastic job, dude. Fantastic. You gave up a 2-run jack, right, to Hayes, but that was it. 2 hits, early in the game. Nice job. Let's look at Hancock's numbers real quick. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks. And having no walks is pretty impressive as well. All right, we got to put the Pat McAfee lookalike here on the screen, and I haven't done it. That's why he's struggling. We got to make sure we're giving him the love. The best guy in the pen, Gabe Spire. Fouled off on that slider, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gabe Spire to Santiago Espinal. Let's go, Mariners. I believe they do. I believe that they'll have, if you go to the team store, I imagine you'll be able to find some for your children. I mean, the team store, they have everything. Just like every MLB team store, any professional sports store, they're going to pencils, toothbrushes, whatever you could think of, they're going to have it. Appreciate you. Who are the teams that you root for in sports? You got obviously you're a Blazer fan. I see you with the Rip City there. I actually live here in Oregon as well, so I'm a huge Blazer fan as well. Obviously we didn't make the playoffs this year, but the second half of the season was much better. Tumani Kamara, being one of the best defenders in the league. Scoot and Shea should start next year. And again, we're incredibly young. We're like the second or third youngest team. They did give the extension to Billups, which is maybe a little questionable, but we're not going to get anybody better. It's not like we were going to get the Nuggets coach to come in. So, we still got a ways to go. But again, with Rip City, I feel like we're going in the right direction. And hopefully we won't have as many injuries, and we can put it together and maybe hit the 8 seed next year, or at least get the play in and be like a 9 or a 10 seed. So, but who are your teams that you root for besides the Blazers? We got 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count now is full from Spire to Espinal. Let's go, Gabe. The guy that I trust the most on the team in the pen. Absolute stud. And obviously Munoz is incredible as well as our closer. That man in the building, what's good? In play. And lined out to center. There we go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Nice job, Gabe. Next up is Ellie De La Cruz. Bottom of the 6th, runner at first with 1 out, double play time. Ellie's 2 for 2 with 2 singles. Pretty crazy when you have a pitcher that has an ERA of 81 and he ends up competing with a guy that's 3-0. There we go, baby. pretty amazing stuff, man. And again, much better than Luis F. Castillo. And, if that means that, we end up having to stick with him for another 1 or 2 more starts before Kirby is ready, because we don't want to rush Kirby, if he's got that shoulder inflammation. 2-0 count from Spire to De La Cruz, who is 2 for 2 so far, but with a couple errors in the series that have been damaging to the Reds. Strike swinging, 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out from Spire to De La Cruz. And this is definitely by far my favorite guy in the pen. I love lefties, and to have a really good lefty is rare in the pen. And then obviously having an amazing righty as your closer in Munoz again. And then once we can get Troy Taylor, who sucked yesterday, once we can get him to find some control, that will help. We have another guy in the pen with Bizzardo and a few others. And then the guy that we're really, really waiting on, who came off Tommy John, is Matt Brash. And once we get Brash, and then in the summertime, we should be able to have that cookout every single day, baby. 3 balls and 1 strike from Spire to De La Cruz. And that's a walk. That's a very rare walk there for Gabe. Normally you don't see him throw, and he's not throwing to Gulliver, he's throwing to Cal. So got to find a way now. Runners at first and second. Come on, Gabe. Gabe hasn't had a bad outing all year, and I'm not ready for it to be today. Mariners, Blazers, Seahawks. Nice. Do you live in Oregon or do you live in Washington? Or do you live in a whole nother state? I assume you live in Oregon, but you might live in Washington as well. I mean, we got, the Sonics aren't obviously active, but they will be soon. Next up is Austin Hayes. Oh, Denny was fantastic, wasn't he? The best all-around player that we have on the team. Made everyone better, very aggressive, going to the paint. He was a joy to watch. And, again, depending on, earlier in the year, you just found me or whatever. But, I would do a few Blazer games, filler streams here and there as well. So, bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Mariners. Next up is Austin Hayes with 1 out. We need to get out of this. Matt in the building. What's good? Come on, Gabe, settle in. And I think they're going to make the move. They're going to replace Gabe. And that's rare, right? And now we're going to bring in Colin Snyder. This is the first time that we've seen Gabe look a little rusty. He hasn't given up anything yet. But again, it's funny when Dan Wilson will pull the trigger, like on our best guy in the pen, as soon as he feels like he's about to lose it. But then we have another guy that, is just not doing good. And he just keeps guys like Vargas in for 2 innings. It's kind of a weird kind of strategy by Dan Wilson. But again, I do agree with this. Gabe definitely looks a little shaky, so hopefully Colin Snyder won't fuck this all up for us here. Still love you, Gabe. You were a little shaky, though. But you didn't give up anything yet. But again, 1 more batter or 2 more batters, maybe that big play to get them back into the game might have happened. So, but again, Colin Snyder can come in here and just fuck it all up for us too, though. So, but they're going to go obviously for a righty instead of a lefty to see if we can find a way. Definitely need a double play here. Otherwise, it's going to be 4-3 in about 30 seconds. In Eastern Washington. Nice. Hell yeah, man. First pitch is outside. 1-0 count with that cutter. Let's go, baby. Takes a strike swing in there with the sweeper. 1 ball and 1 strike from Snyder to Hayes. Let's go. One for 2 with a 2-run blast on Emerson Hancock in the first, but we've definitely been able to quiet the crowd, and now we're starting to show that, hey, the Mariners can play in the morning. The Mariners can play on the road. The Mariners can play in the early afternoon and not get beat the fuck up. And that's a good sign moving forward, especially if we want to win this division or get second place and get to 88 to 90 wins, which I feel that we could still do that. this team is a playoff team. I 100% believe that, even with the injuries to Bliss and Robles. And early injuries to obviously Kirby in their spring training and not having Brash available or Taylor early on. Taylor definitely needs more reps. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Snyder to Hayes. Taking a strike, looking on that 4-seam fastball. Hook him, Snyder. Let's go. Cutter way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Settle in. Come on, Snyder. Bottom of the 6th, runners at first and second. 4-2 lead. Chopper towards third. Get that double play. Get it. And throw to first is safe. But at least we get that out there at third. Good defense there. Hayes grounded into a fielder's choice to third. De La Cruz to second. Friedel out at third. 2 away. Let's go. Good defense there. That double play would have been money if he was able to get it, but long throw. Next up, one of the hottest hitters for the Reds in this series, 1 for 2, second baseman Gavin Lux, the former Dodger. Don't get any ideas here, Gavin. Come on, Ems. First pitch is outside on a 4-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Got to be careful on how you pitch to Gavin Lux. You know, for a lefty, he's pretty crafty. I imagine the Dodgers wish he was still there. They've had some woes in their lineup in the 5 to 9 hole. But again, you know, you can't be afraid to pitch to Gavin. Strike looking there. Nice pitch by Snyder with that cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike. Third pitch way outside the zone. Taking a strike looking. Wow, that should have been a ball. Terrible call by this ump. That would be one that I would challenge. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Snyder to, and that was a good frame job by Cal, but there was no way in hell that was a strike. But great framing there. As you have Gavin look at the ump and say, no, what is that call? He said that was nowhere near. That's a good frame job, but nowhere near in the zone. Bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Mariners. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 1-2 count from Snyder to Luck. And steps off the mound to keep that runner at second at bay. Pitches outside with a 4-seam fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Snyder to Luck. That pitch was closer to being a strike than the other one, but maybe that was a makeup call. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Snyder to Lux. Come on, Colin. Please, God. Let's go. Sports gods, we need you. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Lux in the box. Snyder on the mound. Little dribbler. Throw to first after the pump fake. Twice. Got him. Let's go. Momentum in our favor, baby. Nice job, and that was a good decision to take Gabe out. And we found a way. Nice job, Colin Snyder. You know, nice to be able to, you know, rely on somebody else, you know, than just Gabe or Munoz at the end. You know, even Bizzardo has been much, much better this year compared to last year. And some of the other guys, you know, we've had to send down to AAA, you know, like Sauce, because they weren't good. Let's go, baby. Go to the top of the 7th and see who's up next for the Mariners. Let's go. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with a run and a K. DHing our best hitter in 2025. Got all the way up to 450 at one point, Jorge Polanco. Batting second. Hitting home runs from the left side and the right side. One of the best defensive catchers as well as best catchers overall using the torpedo bat. Let's see if we can get a home run here. Big dumper, catcher Cal Raleigh. And batting third, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Let's bring that electricity here and add on some insurance runs and hits. Let's go, Mariners. I'm going to go grab a water here real quick while I have a chance. All right, water engaged. My pup is good. Diaz is in here for a right-handed pitcher for the Reds. Takes a strike looking with that slider, 84 miles an hour. Let's go, Polo. Could have never dreamed of Polo being this good in 2025, but thank God we needed it. You know, we've seen him on previous teams be a pretty good player, but, you know, obviously a lot of people are saying it was due to the injury. Surgically repaired knee, has had some hip issues. But if this is going to be our DH, you know, for the rest of the year, there we go, baby. Double the left. No, double the right. Woo! Love this guy. You know, his little circular glasses that look like scuba gear. You know, I haven't seen anyone else wear, you know, sunglasses like that, but it's fucking working. Nice double by Polo. He's a fucking man. Let's go. Next up is Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Is it time for another torpedo homer? Bring that electricity, baby. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, Cal. Captain, we're playing great, Break. Oh, man. Hancock played good today. The bats came alive. A couple errors by the Reds. You know, things are looking really up. And we got Wu tomorrow. And then Logan Gilbert and then Castillo. So Castillo game might be a loss, but we should be able to win the Wu and the Gilbert game. And I think I'm going to do the Gilbert game before WrestleMania. It's going to be a long day. And I'm going to have to kind of squeeze the walk-in after the Mariner game is over. But, you know, we got the game tomorrow around 4:30 on Apple TV+. Then on Saturday, I think it's at like noon. And then, again, that will be over hopefully around 2:30. I'll have a time for about 30 minutes to take Paisley on a walk. And then we'll do WrestleMania day one from 4 to 8:30 tomorrow or on Saturday. And then, obviously, the only game that we're going to miss will probably be Sunday's game at 10:30 with Castillo on the mound. But I'll watch that as I visit family on Easter. Cal crushes that one. Foul. 0-1 count. Captain, appreciate you, man. I'm grinding, man. 9:40 a.m. start. You kidding me? Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack. Appreciate you. Bang, bang. Go M's. Yeah, torpedo bat on the left is the one that he's using. He's getting the one custom made for the right side. So. Appreciate you, Captain. Anything that you want to be able to see? I assume that you're on your lunch, right? Let me scroll up. Oh, that's it. You just said that in your comments right there. I'm on lunch. But to give you a little recap of what happened, Hayes homered to the right center side. De La Cruz scored. We were down 2-0 in the first. And we said, oh, brother, it's going to be a long game. Then Luke Raley got his first homer of the year. We've been waiting. Arozarena got walked 2-2. So we felt pretty good there. Then Rodriguez scored on an error, by Ellie De La Cruz. Two of them with Julio. One in this game and one in the previous. Cal Raleigh safe at first on a fielding error by shortstop De La Cruz. Polo safe at third on the error, 3-2 M's. And then Solano got in as a pinch hitter. Sacrifice fly to right. Polo scored. And that's where we're sitting right now at 4-2. So everyone's getting involved. And Emerson Hancock actually played well. He gave up a 2-run homer, but his ERA was 81. Now it's 12.71. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, 4 Ks. Singer, 3-0 record, a little bit over a 3 ERA, only lasted 4.1 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 Ks. So if you're, he had 2 more Ks than Hancock, but he actually played better. Hancock outplayed Singer, so who would have thought that? Slider fouled off, 0-2 count. And Cal pops up into third base. One away. Fuck, I've been talking about Rayleigh, hitting that deep ball for the last 10 games, and it finally fucking happened, And I didn't know if he was going to be able to just get a single to get the confidence and then the home run later, but we got a pitch right there in the zone, and he took it. Next up, in the lineup for the Mariners, Randy Arozarena. 2 pitches high and outside, 2-0 count from Diaz to Randy. Let's get some insurance, though. I would love for us to get to 5 or 6 before this game ends. Yeah, I mean, we needed it. That gave us the momentum that we needed to be able to win this game. If Luke doesn't homer, we're probably not at 4 runs right now. We're probably sitting at 1 or 2. So, and Randy getting the walk right before him really helped. Oh, here we go. 4-seam fastball, high, 3-0 count. Take the walk, Randy. Because if you take the walk, some good shit could happen to the next batter or two. Takes a strike looking, even though that should have been a walk. Out of the zone. Where's the challenge, bitches? Then he fouls that one off. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Come on. When you got a 3-0 count, you should end up getting a walk. I mean, sometimes you're going to get the green light, but you got to be able to see where he's pitching. It should have been ball. But for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe a makeup call? The ump has been a little suspect here in these last 2 innings. And there we go. There's the walk, baby. Randy's smart. He knows. I don't need to be like Julio and force it. I'll just let the game come to me. Nice job, Randy. Thank God. There we go. And then I believe we have, Donovan Solano coming in since he ended up pinch hitting. And then we have Ben Williamson. But earlier it was Luke Rayleigh, obviously, and we had Rowdy Tellez. So we have a couple guys, obviously, in the previous at-bats. And Solano ended up having a sac fly that brought a guy home. I don't know if he'll be able to get anything here. I mean, we obviously believe that Solano and Tellez are our weakest links, but we'll see. Top of the 7th, 4-2 Mariners. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Next up is Donovan Solano. And Arozarena to second. Polo caught stealing the third. Wow, we are so aggressive. I don't like seeing us get called out, but man, it's exciting that we're so and it's not like we're, being big risk takers. We're just trying to be aggressive, and we're the number 1 team in the MLB on the bags, and it's showing, and again, you're going to get called out sometimes, but Diaz to Solano now 0-2 count. So obviously we got caught in no man's land here. Yes, sir. That's our guy, man. Very reliable with Polo. 4-seam fastball fouled off, still in the count 0-2. And we might not be able to bring Randy home at second, but we'll see. I don't think we really have a whole lot of confidence in Solano or Tellez, but Tellez did get a hit earlier today, and he's been, he still sucks, but he's getting better. It's, if you're batting under 100 or right at that, it's terrible, but at least he's starting to kind of find his way, within the last 4, 5, 6 games. And Solano pops out. We leave 1 stranded, but we still got a 2-run lead, 4-2 Mariners. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 7th. I get a lot, Paisley Pup, we're on a good schedule. I'm walking 5 miles a day. I usually get, 8, 9 hours every day, even if I'm, watching TV and whatnot, but, I try to be able to do a lot of reading, and then I turn the TV off, turn my phone on, usually have some white noise, with rain or waves crashing, have that on full blast so I can't hear anything else. And that puts me to a very good, level of sleep. And then I usually wake up somewhere between 7, 8, 9 a.m., go on a long walk, do another one in the afternoon, and then one at night. So sleep is very, very important, just like exercise and diet. Let's go, baby. Let's see if I can get a couple demos up here. I don't think anybody, had on their prediction card that Polo and Dylan Moore would be two of our best players in 2025. But, again, you got big names like Julio and Cal, but you always need role players to step up, especially with injuries to Bliss, especially to Robles. So it's like we're getting production like Robles would be doing out of Demo and Polo, and that's awesome. It shows you how deep we are, and with our farm system with Ben Williamson, we've got a lot of other guys, Felton Celestin, Lazaro Montes, Harry Ford, Cole Young, Cole Emerson, Logan Evans, Durangelo. I mean, there's so many guys that we got, either pitchers or guys that are in the infield and the outfield, Harry Ford. I mean, I can go on and on and on, and not a lot of people are going to, watch the farm as much as maybe me and Reflect and a few others. But I'm always keeping tabs on, our future, and it's very, very bright. We are electric, baby. Now we got Vargas in the game, who is a little shaky at times, but again, a little bit more trustworthy than some of the others, but still shaky at times. Candelario grounded out to second on that first pitch. We'll take that. Thank you, Jaime. One away. Next up, left fielder Blake Dunn. 0 for 2. Let's make it 0 for 3. That's too much caffeine, bro. I think like the normal amount, for someone your age, it's like if you do more than like 120, it's like unhealthy. Like 120 to 160 is kind of like, if you get above that with like caffeine stuff, that you're running a risk. But also you could run a risk, by doing too much coffee as well. Do things kind of in moderation. 2 balls and 1 strike from Vargas to Dunn. Sinker low at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike. Let's go, Vargas. No walks. So when you take the caffeine, are you doing like energy drinks, or what are you doing? Or is it like a caffeine pill that you're taking? Like how are you taking the 500? That's a lot, bro. And that's a walk by Vargas. Come on, Vargas. Oh, it's my boy. Hello. This is Luis Fernando calling on behalf of Verizon. We met in the Tiger at the business park. Does that ring a bell? It does. What's your email so I can send you a confirmation number? Hi, bro. How are you? $10 holla. One of my favorite Oregon co-worker / friends that now lives in Texas. I wish the best for you and your girl. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. Appreciate you. I don't know if you got a chance to, with your busy schedule, to send out that jersey, but thank you so much for your, thinking of me, and again, I'm always going to grind, and I appreciate the love. And again, I don't have a sewn Levante jersey with that captain patch, so definitely excited about repping that during the football season. And you the man. I appreciate you. One of the most genuine human beings that I've known, especially when you work in sales. There's always going to be some shady individuals that lie to try to get their commission numbers up. But I feel like me and Louise, we never really had a thing where we had to lie to be number one, because eventually if you lie, you're not going to get the commission. You might be able to show people on the board, but when you look at your paycheck, it ain't going to reflect that. So bottom of the 7th, 4-2 Mariners, runner at first. No, runner at second and third now. Ooh, Fraley. And now we got guys at second and third, and now pinch hitting Matt McClain. Appreciate you, Louise. You the man.
You dream of. Oh my gosh.
And this is why I don't really like Vargas that much. You know, again, he's very streaky. And again, as crazy as this sounds, I think I would rather have Bizzardo in the game. And Bizzardo was, kind of shitty last year. But Vargas is just too young and wild, And again, I know they like to be able to use him situationally, but he's kind of like Troy Taylor right now. He's just too raw, too wild. And if it was me, I know we're already going through pitchers left and right. We're already on our fourth guy. We went Hancock, Fire, Snyder, Vargas. But if this is me right here, I pull him and I bring in Bizzardo, but or someone of that nature. But we'll see what happens. But I don't like this because again, a couple more walks. It's going to be 4-3, 4-4, and then we're down 5-4, and then we lose the game. Don't lose the game in the pen. My boy, anything you want to see photo-wise, let me know, and I got you. It could be anything you want. It could be shoes. It could be a favorite rapper, artist, whatever you want. And there's a fucking walk. God damn it. Pull this guy. McLean is walked. Vargas, hit the showers, my guy. Bases loaded. After we got a 4-2 lead, are we just willing to give it away now? Holy hell. Pull him. At the mound visit, you should have already pulled him. And see, this is why it's so crazy. They give more leeway to guys like Vargas, and then as soon as you start to see a little shakiness out of Gabe, they just pull him immediately, even though he's our best guy in the pen. Like, they have too much trust in these young guys that aren't as good. There's no way in hell Vargas is better than Gabe. Next up, center fielder TJ Friedel pitches outside with a sinker as a ball. Pull him! Hello? Woodsworth and fucking Dan Wilson, you dummies. I love you too, bro. I appreciate that very, very much. Someone's got to come out of our friend group, and these beats that you hear in the background are actually from Brooks. He's been working on a project for about 5 years, and I feel like the only thing that he was lacking is focus and dedication and believing in himself. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. But he lost a lot of weight as well. He ended up getting engaged, believe it or not. Actually found a really good woman for his life. He's lost about 80 to 100 pounds like myself. He runs like mini marathons. He doesn't party anymore and do all those things that when we used to do when we worked, back in the day. And, he's starting to get his life back on track, I think. And, again, now he's trying to get more focused with the music, even though it may not be like his full focus. But again, an incredible beat maker, and everything is made, just based off scratch. No real samples typically being used. And Busta Rhymes actually reached out to him a couple years ago, and I told him, bro, it's like, if that's not a sign to keep going, I don't know what is. And it looks like finally he's starting to take it a little bit more serious. Holy hell. Why is Vargas still in the game? Now it's 4-3. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Holy hell here. Appreciate you, Louise. And obviously a sac fly there into right field. Runner tags up. And again, that 4-2 lead now to 4-3. Tag with Cal, no good. And now we have to make sure we get out of this because, again, if you end up getting a home run here and it ends up being 6-4, we're going to lose again. Find a way. McLean with a stole second. Fuck, now guys at second and third. He's changed, though. I don't hang out with him on a regular basis or anything like that. And I don't, obviously we've had a couple of the people that we know that have passed away. Like Brian Jackman passed away. Like Anatoly passed away, right? And then Armand actually passed away. So out of a lot of the guys that we had in that sales group, it's kind of sad when you get people that, make those bad decisions and maybe party too much and, bad shit happens and whatnot. But I don't hang out with him, on a regular basis. I haven't seen him, in about a year, but, based on what I see on socials and whatnot, it seems like he's in a better place, but definitely was a little sus back in the day. I'll give you that. That's very true. But, people can change for the better, though. You stop partying, you start hanging around the good people instead of bad people, right? And then you can start, changing your life for the better. Bottom of the seventh, 4-3 Mariners, 2-0 count. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. And we have to find a way to get out of this. And holy hell, bases loaded now. Oh, my God. Are we going to give this game away? Jesus. Espinal with a walk. Next up, Ellie De La Cruz. They better be careful here, because with one swing, it could turn into 7-4, and then we lose. Shep in the building. What's good? Of course, bro. I take care of the people that have taken care of me, and I know you're going through a really tough time, but I think it really does show, regardless if we, see each other face to face or on the channel or on socials, it will show you like who really does care, and I feel that, even though, some of the relationships, are just going to be on here or socials and whatnot as we have a pitching change, it really does show, when times get tough and life gets tough, sometimes you can have a better bond, with people on a special channel like this, which we are a Fanatic family, rather than people in our real life face-to-face in our hometown cities and states. Sometimes, you start to recognize how people sometimes are toxic and they're not really good for you. I spend a lot of time with my pup. I don't really hang out with anybody, besides Justin, and that's like my best friend. I hang out with him maybe once a month, and it's just, me, pretty much grinding on this channel 7 days a week, walking my pup 5 miles a day and spending every moment I can with her and appreciating life and having gratitude. And I try to be able to, check up on the people that I know are hurting. And I know Odin, is not in a good place. You're not in a good place. And I will always go out of my way to be able to, check up on you guys, because I want to make sure that you guys understand that I care. And, sometimes it's nice to be able to, get that message, when things are going to all hell, that, there is someone out there that genuinely is a good person that, wants you to win, wants, the hurting to stop, and wants things to get better. So, and I'm really sorry for all the heartache and heartbreak that you've had in the last year. And I hope things get better. Odin obviously broke his leg and has been out of work, so his mentals have not been good either. And, sometimes just reaching out to someone and, hey, do you want to watch a AEW pay-per-view? He lives in New York. I'm here in Oregon, but we can still text message while we watch an event together. Sometimes just doing something simple and small like that little small gesture can really turn, momentum around for someone. But, I got all the love for you, my guy. Yeah, Armand and me bonded, but I didn't see him for quite some time. And, whenever you get people that party really hard and often, sometimes, bad shit happens, especially if you're kind of an emotional person. The highs are really high, but the lows are really low. And I think everyone in this room will have at least someone they know like that, or that's, you, and sometimes you got to be able to control the anger and the emotions and understand that things will get better, over time, but sometimes it looks like it's never going to get better, especially when you have one bad thing happen after another and another. But have faith, time heals. It will make things better. Pitches outside, 2-0 count with bases loaded to Ellie De La Cruz.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah. Sanchez Taqueria. That's my boy, dude, Justin Graves. Again, I trust that guy more than, and again, there wasn't very many, some trustworthy people. You were trustworthy, Louise, and Justin, I feel like he's the closest thing to me, very genuine, very honest, and you really get to know people when you road trip with them, and when you road trip with them, there's never going to be an issue, it's always just going to be a lot of fun. And, got him! Let's go! Bases loaded, stranded. Nice job by Thornton. Not the individual that I would have thought that would have got us out of the jam, but we might win this game now. Nice job, Trent. But I hope things get better, for the people that are struggling. And again, that's why, I grind so hard, on this channel, even though when things are tough, sometimes things get tough with likes or subs or donos, and sometimes, I'm struggling. You might see a smile on my face and I'm grinding 7 days a week, but, I might be struggling, sometimes, to be able to get bills paid and support, it kind of goes in waves. Sometimes we get a lot of support. Sometimes, support is, let's say it could be better, but no matter what, I can't, be sad about it or mad about it. I just have to keep working hard and hope that we get some OGs to come back, maybe some new OGs to form, and then, we can, take it to the next level. But I really think one thing that separates me from a lot of the other streamers that are out there, I'm not an influencer that's fake. I'm a streamer that's going to bring positivity, and that's the difference. And we have a family here, and again, anyone that is struggling, I hope things get a little bit better. And if anyone deserves greatness, again, with the hard work, and the time and the energy and the passion, but ultimately it comes down to who you are as a person. And, a lot of us in the room are kind of similar. I've booted out hundreds of people, out of this channel to make sure that we don't have toxic individuals in here. And again, has that hurt my sub count? Of course. Have I missed out on, hundreds of dollars in donos? Of course I have. But again, I'd rather make less money and have the room be great for the chat than to have, more people in the room and more toxicity, just to be able to get my numbers up. And again, if that means that I have to sacrifice my bottom line to keep the vibe in the room good, I'm willing to do that. So, and not many streamers are willing to do that. Most are just wanting likes, subs. They don't give a shit if someone's negative or not. If they're donating, who cares? But it's not all about money. It's about being able to make this place better, especially when we're gone, and I want to make sure I'm leaving a good legacy here and making an impact on different people's lives in the room. Appreciate you, my guy. Have a good rest of your day at work, my guy. Yeah. And sometimes just being able to come through, like somewhere here, and being able to hang out, Again, even when things get tough, closing yourself off, is not going to necessarily, and it's always good to be able to have the healing, to be able to give yourself some time. But again, if you have depression and anxiety and you just close yourself off from everyone, eventually you're doing more damage to yourself, I would know, and again, to be able to climb out of that, you got to be able to exercise, you got to be able to eat better, you got to be able to put back on the partying, you got to be able to focus on the goals at hand, and things will get better over time. 1-1 pitch from Centillion to Ben Williamson, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Big Ben. Let's go. Brought him up from the Tacoma Rainiers, top of the 8th, 4-3 Mariners. Nobody on, nobody out. In play. And that's a single, baby, for my guy, B-Dubs. Get him a fucking sponsorship. Ben Williamson, let's go. Should be our everyday third baseman moving forward for life, baby. Let's go. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman, Dylan Moore. First pitch is inside towards the head, 1-0 count. Well, there's been a few times, where, you definitely could have, but I feel that, sometimes depending on the relationship that I have, with certain individuals, I can understand, certain people, go through certain type of emotions and sometimes say things that they don't mean, and again, anyone that has put in the work and the dedication and the time for me, regardless if it is trying to help themselves or to help me, and sometimes you'll get a little bit of leeway and whatnot, and anyone that ends up being a full-time mod for me, I've only had 2, I don't have one now, but between you and Sarah, you guys did a pretty damn good job when you guys had the role. And again, it's not for everyone. It's a very demanding job because I grind so hard. And at some point, people need to have their own time, and I don't know if we'll have a full-time lead mod on the channel ever again, unless someone, is willing to dedicate their, time and energy with me, but, I'm not going to just boot someone like you out, based on a few different things. You recognize that, maybe there has been times that you've been a little extra, But again, you're a highly emotional guy. You go through the highs and the lows. And I feel that, with the whole thing that happened with Twitter and X, and trying to back out from that, if I booted you from the channel, completely, not only would people miss you, including myself, but also it wouldn't be good for your mentals. And I don't want you to spiral. So again, just recognizing that you fucked up in the past is a big thing, and again, just trying to be a better person each day. And I recognize who you are as a person, and that's why you haven't been booted from this channel. I feel that, we got love for you here. And again, if it was someone else, yeah, they would have probably been booted. But again, I think that, you've shown enough positivity, even with the hard days and even overreacting and, maybe being a little extra, but that's why. Hey, it could be me, my guy. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. It's all about being able to understand people. And again, my dad was a teacher for 40 plus years. If I wasn't doing this, it would probably be, either streaming video games or beat making. And if I wasn't doing that, I probably would have ended up being a teacher or a Boys and Girls Club counselor, psychologist, therapist. I feel like I really recognize people very well, even if I don't see you face to face. If I know enough about you, you have to be able to read people. Some people are better at reading people than others. Miles Mastrobuoni in the box right now with Centillion. And we're behind the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But, again, it's all about trying to leave a legacy and, having a positive place for people to come, to be able to hang out together. And some people are going to be a fit for this channel and some people aren't, And again, you're a good part of this channel, even though you've had some hardships. And again, that's why. Luis is my boy, Chef. One of the guys that I worked with here in Oregon, and someone that actually got, I think, a chance to get to know me, on a real basis and what I'm about. And there was a few pretty talented people that we worked with, that are hustlers or, that had it in them. No matter what they do in life, they're going to be successful. And I feel Luis is one of those guys. And, I'm going to root for him to have the utmost success, with whatever he does. Slanging jerseys on eBay or whatever you decide to do, you can be successful. You got the mind for it, and you're a good person. Top of the 8th, 4-3 Mariners. Runner at first. 2-2 pitch. And fouled off. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes from Centillion to Mastrobuoni. I would love for us to be able to get to a point where we could get more support on the daily basis. But again, I can't control, where people go and who they donate to. But it would be nice to be able to, kind of get back to where we were. But again, I'm going to continue to work hard. I'm never going to change, even if we, end up hitting a plateau and I become more well-known. They say money changes people, but I promise you, if you go back and look to who I was in year 1, and, we're going to be in year 14 next year, year 10 on YouTube next year, I'm still the same person that I was, and that's pretty rare. Throw to first and safe. 3 balls and 2 strikes, and Centillion to Miles Mastrobuoni. Let's go, Miles. We need to find a way here. And anything photo-wise I can get you, Luis. You let me know when I got you. Top of the 8th, 4-3 Mariners. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. They're trying to get that runner out at first. Ain't going to happen. Centillion on the mound. Mastrobuoni in the box. Let's go, baby. And that's a walk. But it would be great to be able to get more heavy hitters to come through on a regular basis. Let me tell you. I'd love to be able to give back, but, again, if I'm having a hard time being able to just pay regular bills, I can't, gift someone a Mitchell & Ness jersey if I can't pay my fucking internet bill or my cell phone bill or my streaming bill or pay for dog food for my dog. It's like I got to make sure that I'm living. And again, I know that, You know, I'm sacrificing a lot of my bottom line income by spending so much time with Paisley and doing this full time. But again, when you have dreams and goals, they never said it was going to be easy, you know, and I don't need to be rich. I just need to be able to continue to pay my basic bills to continue. And then I know in, you know, the future, things are going to get much, much better here, you know, with sponsorship and other things. But again, I have to, you know, I had a 10-year goal when I first started this channel, and I had a partner that I did this channel who quit. You know, and again, I imagine he probably regrets quitting, but again, it was always my dream. I sacrificed a Jordan rookie, you know, and a lot of other things and time and energy. And, you know, sometimes if it's not your dream, then you're not going to be fully invested. And, you know, I'm never quitting this. I'm going to be doing this until I die. So you're going to see this face for a long, long time. That's facts. Top of the 8th, 4-3 Mariners. Centillion on the mound, JP Crawford in the box with 1 out. Pitches outside. 1-0 count in play. There we go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Crawford double to right. Williamson scored. Mastroboni to third. Woo! Let's go. Nice job by JP Crawford. 5-3 Mariners, baby. Yeah, I mean, at one point we had like, you know, maybe 10 heavy hitters, you know, that were really helping, you know, support the channel. And then sometimes we'll go from 10 to 0, you know, and it can be a little shocking and it hurts my heart a little bit. But I do understand, you know, the economy isn't the greatest. People's jobs, you know, have changed. You know, we've had some heavy hitters die, you know, and again, some shit is just out of our control. So I just have to stay positive and know that good things are going to happen for me in the future. I'm not oblivious to what's going on in the world. And I do appreciate everyone's support on the channel, regardless if they like the channel, they sub to the channel, they you know, share the channel, you know, they donate to the channel, which is the biggest honor that you can do. Appreciate you guys very, very much. $10 holla. I appreciate that. Big swing and a miss by Julio. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Appreciate you too, you know, and again, it's not often that you can find a channel where you have like a family atmosphere where the host, you know, just immediately will boot out the negativity and the trolls and the haters. You know, almost every other channel that's trying to grow allows that, you know, ignorant, you know, ass behavior just because they want to have likes and subs, even if they're negative people. But, you know, I'm never going to let that happen here, you know, ever, you know, even if that costs my bottom line. Ana from Mexico. Buenos dias, buenas noches, buenos tardes, vamos maneros. Let's go. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for photos if you want any. Same thing with you, Louise. You the man. Julio in play. Popped up to the shortstop. 2 away. Runners at second and third now with a 5-3 lead. Next up is Jorge Polanco. Let's go. Let's go, Mariners. Top of the 8th, 5-3 Mariners. Next up is Polo with runners at second and third with 2 outs. Let's see if we can get a little bit more insurance here. And I don't know if they're going to have another pitching change, but they're bringing the whole team here to the mound. And he is getting booted at. And they're going with another. How many pitchers is that for the Reds? Singer, Rogers, Gaba, Diaz, and Centillion. So they're going to be on their 6th pitcher. We're at 65. Let's get to a hundo. You know, and we've had some amazing moments on the channel, you know. Shep, obviously in the room, has got the biggest single donation, you know, on the channel, 1,300. There's not going to be probably anybody that's going to beat that. I mean, maybe one day, you know, and if it is, it'll probably be Shep again. You know, we've had $500 donations, quite a few of those in the past, you know, but again, you know, the goal is always going to be to try to get to a hundo, you know, and sometimes we're successful, sometimes not, you know, but again, you know, I know what, you know, we're destined for greatness here. And again, sometimes you got to wait your turn. And there's a lot of people that might be more popular, you know, and fake. And some people are not smart enough to realize that because they just have a lot of people in the room and they think that this person is a good person. But if you look on socials and you look, you know, on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter/X, you know, there's a lot of fakeness out there. You know, a lot of people are kind of sheep, you know, and they just kind of go where people are at. And, you know, some of y'all are going to be smart enough to recognize, you know, that is not who you really want to support, even though they might be popular and you like some of the things that are, you know, going there. And we will always keep it 100 here, and we will always keep it genuine here as well. Top of the 8th, 5-3 Mariners. Runners at second and third with 2 outs, and they're going to bring in Mitch Garver. I appreciate every single person showing the love on the channel. Got to get a Mitch Garver photo up here as they go through a pitching change. And Garver pinch hitting for Polo. I don't know if that's the right move, but we've done that already before quite a few times. They're bringing in Brent Suter. First pitch is outside, 1-0 count. It might be just better if we could walk him. Top of the 8th, 2 outs, runners at second and third. 2 balls and 1 strike from Suter to Garver. I got you. Yeah. And plus, it's crazy. A lot of these people in the room, they don't know me like personally, like, how talented of a group, it's like I did phone sales for big companies where if you didn't hit your goal in like a week, 2 weeks, or a month, you're fired, and like, think about how good of a person you have to be on the phone to be able to talk to people in like New York and Boston that are rude as fuck, and to be able to get their attention and respect you and actually buy from you. Like I've had many jobs over the years, and usually it's like warehouse jobs when I want to break. But, I did phone sales for like 20 fucking years. Again, there's not very many people that can do phone sales, which is a very highly stressful fucking job, for that long and be that successful. And Luis is one of those individuals as well. Obviously being bilingual and being a real OG. Pumped up, and he is out. Could have had Polo hit right there. That was a bad decision, but at least we have a 2-run lead with JP Crawford. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see who's up next for the Reds. Next up for the Reds, DHing 1 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs, Austin Hayes. Batting second at second base, Gavin Lux. And batting third, unless they make a change with a DH, first baseman Jaime Candelario. If I can grab a couple photos here for you. Gotta go to my NASCAR file. Also, too, when you work in sales, it's all about who's working with you, and if you got, amazing people working with you, you can really take your skill set to the next level. And, I remember, when I was 17 years old and I transferred, from Aloha to Canby, and I was going to be the starting point guard on varsity, for basketball for that, squad. And I played in the summer league for them and did pretty good. And, I sacrificed a lot, and I ended up not playing for the team. And I ended up, joining a company because I had a feeling that it could be helpful for my future. And I worked for a Fortune 500 company, True Green Kemlon. And out of like the 100 True Green Kemlons, we had the #1 rep out of like 1,000 at the Lake Oswego branch. And he mentored me for like 3-4 years. Ended up being #1 in the entire company for a couple weeks. Back then, got a plaque and everything, and definitely learned a lot. And then was able to use a lot of the skills that I learned there in other jobs, and then obviously here. So sometimes, sacrificing, dates with girls and popularity and playing, obviously on varsity, I'd have no regrets. I mean, would it have been cool, to, do that? Yeah. But, again, sometimes you have to understand what's going to, help you the most in your future. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to play college ball or the NBA. So, sometimes you have to make those, tough decisions at that time. Bizzardo is in now against Hayes. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo. Let's go, baby. I got a couple more photos loading up for you, but I got at least a couple of those in there for you. And before I end, I'll get you a few more. And if Louise wants anything, I got him as well. And anyone else that has donated earlier today in the stream, appreciate you. Is in play by Hayes, and that is flight out to center. Julio Rodriguez there, baby. 1 out. I like that. Nice job, J-Rod. Next up is Gavin Lux. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Okay. If you need, if you can come back, obviously, and I'm still online, I'll get you some more photos. If not, I can get you a few more. Obviously, on the next stream, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, so. And I'll get you some more Oscar. I'll get you some more F1. Appreciate all the support, my guy. See if I can squeeze in at least an Oscar here before he goes. Can I find one? He's got to go, but I gotta do it. We can squeeze it. Can we squeeze it? Can we squeeze? And I know Oscar photos don't really come up very easily on here. Can I get at least one Oscar? Broken bat for a hit. Fuck. All right. I don't know if you're still in the room still, but at least I can get one up here for you with the 2 Christopher Bells. Appreciate you, my guy. F1, big fan. I got you. And I'll get you a few more down the road as well. Appreciate your support. Have a good rest of your day. Good luck on your interview. First pitch to Candelario, slider. 1-0 count. Let's go, Bizzardo. Edward Bizzardo. Pitches inside at the knees, 2-0 count. And I also don't think people, fully realize there's a lot of streamers that are out there, but it's like, I got to be able to do play-by-play. I got to do color, hence the 2 mics. And then I got to produce the show all on my own, and obviously got to a point where I can do all my own thumbnails and whatnot too. But there's a lot of effort and work. I usually have to prep for like an hour and a half or at least an hour, on every stream. With everything that I do. Sometimes a thumbnail alone will take an hour and a half, so again, to be able to do play-by-play, do color, to actually produce the show with all the photos and the music, and to be able to keep up with everyone in the chat, like, you really got to be able to multitask, and that's why you don't really see other people doing a show like the way that I do it. You don't see people throwing up photos of all the players and giving love to the other team. It takes a lot of fucking effort, and I appreciate the people that recognize that. Bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Mariners. Bizzardo on the mound, Candelario on the box, full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. I'm pretty good with my ESP and whatnot. Candelario with the walk, Lux to second. There's only really a few guys that I trust. Abdul Carter, Tyler Warren from Penn State. I trust those guys wherever they go. Travis Hunter is going to be a great player at wide receiver and corner on any team that he goes. And Ashton Genty, any team that he goes at running back is going to be a stud. But other than those 4 guys, everyone else is kind of like, okay, we'll wait and see. But this is a very shitty quarterback draft. I don't know if I really trust Cam Ward on a bad team and bad culture. Same thing with Shooter Sanders or Jackson Dart. It's a very shitty quarterback class, very deep at running back. There's some pretty good wide receiver potential, offensive line and defensive line, some studs, and there's some pretty good defensive ends and linebackers, corners, and safeties that can pan out. But if it's not Tyler Warren, Abdul Carter from Penn State, tight end, and DN, and if it's not, obviously Travis Hunter, corner wide receiver from Colorado, or Ashton Genty from Boise State, running back, who could be the next Saquon Barkley. Be careful, because some of these guys are going to be drafted way too high. Some will pan out, some won't. But those are the only 4 that I trust. I don't trust anybody else. So, I think Ward has potential to be, the best quarterback. But again, he's going to need help. it's like if he goes to a Browns or Giants, he could end up failing and have to wait to go to his second team, unless, you got good culture and vibe there. But as we know, if you go to the top of the board, usually those teams have bad culture, bad vibe, and a bad team. So, we'll see. But those are the guys that I trust, that if you drafted them on any team, they're going to pan out. And they could end up being Pro Bowl, All-Pro, and possibly one day, maybe even Hall of Fame player. But, that's speaking a little bit too soon since they haven't even been playing a snap in the NFL yet. But based on the extensive film and interviews and articles that I've read and games that I've watched, those are the only 4 that I trust. And again, there's going to end up being some stud corner, that ends up being great. Might be a top 10 corner. There'll be a safety that's like, wow. Linebacker, that's wow. Offensive lineman, that's like, wow. But, this is just off the top of the head. Those are the 4 that I trust the most. So if you're lucky enough on your favorite team and you get one of those 4 guys, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Tyler Warren could end up being the next Brock Bowers, Sam Laporta. Facts. Travis Hunter could be a player that we've never seen before, playing corner and wide receiver. Kind of like, not necessarily a Bo Jackson or a Deion Sanders, so to speak, but, we'll see. Because Deion obviously played corner and wide receiver, and it might be the closest thing to Deion that we've seen in a long fucking time, right? Abdul Carter, as far as a pass rusher, there's like Micah Parsons comparisons, but, Micah kind of takes plays off. You could be like Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, Micah Parsons kind of talented type of player, and could be a Pro Bowl guy right out of the gates, within the first year or two. And Ashton Genty is the running back that I trust the most. Even if you use a top 5 or top 10 pick, I think that he's got the vision. He's hard to tackle, and he could be the next Saquon Barkley. Could be really big for the team. Bottom of the 8th, 5-3 Mariners. Bases loaded with 1 out. What are we doing here, Bizzardo? Vargas and Bizzardo, you got to get it done. Unbelievable. Well, Travis said that if they don't let him play on both sides, he doesn't want to play. So, again, he wants to be able to help a team win. And he's good enough to be a punt returner, kick returner if, they asked him to. Now, they probably already have someone else that they could go down that role. And if you do too much, you're going to get injured. But obviously, playing corner and wide receiver, that's going to up the chances of him getting injured. But, again, he wants to be able to play, on both sides. And we'll see if he ends up being like corner full-time, part-time wide receiver, or part-time wide receiver, full-time, or full-time wide receiver, part-time corner. But if I'm him, I'm probably doing full-time corner, part-time wide receiver. That would be the best way to, let your career go further. Bases loaded, bottom of the 8th with 1 out, 5-3 Mariners. Next up, Jake Fraley. Don't fuck this game up. We've been in firm control here, and we need to get out of this inning. We only have 1 out. We need a double play. Definitely a force out at home. First pitch is fouled off with a slider. 0-1 count from Bizzardo to Fraley. God damn it, and there it is. In play, Bizzardo fucking the game up, and unbelievable home run. You got to be shitting me. Are you kidding me? Grand slam, and the Reds take the lead. You got to be fucking kidding me. But that's what happens when your bullpen sucks, right? And you don't have consistency. At some point, something good will happen for the other team if you can't throw strikes. And, obviously not giving Gabe enough time and then putting in Vargas and now Bizzardo. We need Taylor and Brash immediately. And now we might end up losing this game that we were in firm control the whole game. Unfucking believable. Terrible. Damn you, Edwin. It's not even Edwin. It's Edward. Bizzardo. Damn it. Oh, brutal way to fucking lose a game. I mean, it's not over yet, but Uncle Mo has already, when you have a play like that this late in the game, it's going to be really hard to come back. Holy hell. And that's why you need better bullpen. You can be in firm control, dominate, and then just have a couple shitty guys in the pen that can't hit the fucking strike zone, and then that fucking happens. Unfucking believable. And the same thing happened in game number 1. where we were in control 4-2. They kept a guy in too long. Castillo made it 4-3. Next guy up, Austin Hayes in his first game, 3-run jack, right? Then we ended up being down 6-4, game over. And now we got Matt McClain, one of the starters that normally plays, is pinch hitting. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to McClain. Holy fuck. Oh. And that's in play. And McClain flied out to right. 2 away. Yeah, I mean, anybody can make a new social media. You know, you can always make a new one if you want to do the, you know, sharing of Oregon Duck stuff or plays or whatever, you know. But again, you know, I think that you need to be okay with yourself first before you start dedicating so much time to an app, you know. It's like you got to make sure that, you know, you're mentally and physically, you know, on a right, you know, path. And if not, then I wouldn't do it, you know. You got to make sure that you're good first before you start dedicating time to something that's going to take up a lot of your time. Bottom of the 8th, 7-5 Reds. Big grand salami by Fraley. Luck scored, Candelario scored, Dunn scored, and that's what happens when your pen stinks. And Friedel singled to right. Jesus Christ. Just came to the bleeding stop. DJ with a single. And we're back at the second man in the order, third baseman, Santiago Espinal. And, you know, instead of spending all that money on Donovan Solano, he should have been able to get another guy in the pen. We're going to need a miracle to come back now. 65 in donos. Let's get to a hundo. 35 to go. Pitch right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bizzardo to Trevino. Bottom of the 8th, 7-5 Reds. 2 outs, 1 ball and 1 strike. And pitch hitting Jose Trevino. And grounded out to the shortstop. We finally get out of the inning, but now we're down by 2 fucking runs. This is a game that we should have won. And again, you know, Cole is back. You're back, and we just fucked the whole game up. Gave up a grand slam while you left. So let me see if I can get a couple Oscars here for you. F1 photos and whatnot. I'll sprinkle in some stuff I have on a file for you. Even if it's the Oscar Orlando, let me just sprinkle in a few. All right, let me delete those real quick and see if I can get Oscar to come up at some point here. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. You know, to go through all of the emotions, the highs and the lows of being a Seattle Mariner or Pacific Northwest fan, man, makes my face look like this, you know, after things were going so well. And then just to have shitty bullpen play and to have the game kind of slip through your fingers when you're in firm control, it hurts. But the game isn't over until it's over. Now we're down to our last 3. Next up is Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Appreciate you. Shout out to Louise. Shout out to Cole. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Reflect, Captain, Louise, and Cole for your support on the channel. I mean, and obviously the Kraken, have struggles. The Seahawks have struggles. Mariners will have struggles. Sonics don't exist, but they'll be back. Blazers, have some tough times. Same thing with the Cougs and the Huskies. Maybe the best thing in the Pacific Northwest right now is the Oregon Ducks, but even we weren't able to, get to the pinnacle, obviously because of Chip Kelly and the Buckeyes. But I do think Dante Moore and obviously with both of Dante's, we should be able to do some magic here next year. Next up is Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. We didn't really have those NFL players on that offensive side of the ball, and we need those electric D'Anthony Thomas, type of guys, the LaMichael James kind of guys. There we go. Back. See ya. Cal Raleigh trying to get us back in the game, and he homers, baby. Oh, baby. Tridents up. Torpedo bat use. Let's fucking go, baby. Oh, my. 7-6 Reds. We're only down by 1 with no outs. Let's go. Torpedo bat. Let's go. 6 homers in 6 games with this torpedo bat. 3 home runs in 3 games. Didn't get a home run in game number 4. 2 home runs, 1 from the left and 1 from the right yesterday, and then another homer from the left just now. Let's go, Cal Raleigh. Best catcher in baseball. Baby. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Maybe we will come back and win this game. Holy hell. You got my emotions going back and forth here. My goodness. Randy chops that one foul or 1 count. There we go. Randy with a homer. Let's go. Let's go. You fucking kidding me? Back-to-back homers. It's tied, baby. Woo! Let's go. We actually might come back and win this game. Never count us out, even when things look bleak. Homer by Cal, homer by Randy. Are you fucking shitting me? Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Tridents up, 7-7. We're going to win now. Oh, my. Let's go. You fucking kidding me? Oh, God. That never happens. Tridents up, tie game, bitches. You want to hit a grand slam on us? Fuck it. We'll come back. Let's go. Unfucking believable. Let's go. I mean, the chances of that happening, back-to-back homers late in the game when you give up a grand salami, literally 1%. Never fucking happens. And I guess that 1% is today. Let's go, baby. You love it, Griffey? Damn right you do. Solano flies out because he sucks. 1 away. Dude, we gave up a grand salami, and then we went back-to-back homers with Cal and Randy. Torpedo bat. Let's go. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. But again, it's not over yet. We don't have the lead. Oh, my God. Being a Pacific Northwest fan is nuts. Let me tell you. Top of the ninth, 7-7. Fagan on the mound. Ben Williamson in the box. Strike looking 0-1 count. Come on, M's. I don't give a shit if we win this by 1 run. Just find a way to win. Especially after giving up a grand salami. Everyone's mental health after giving up a grand salami after you've dominated the whole game. It goes from, being at the high of highs to the low of lows. And for Cal and Randy to say, fuck it, let's come back and actually do it, incredible. Incredible. Fouled that one off by Williamson. 0-2 count. Unfucking believable. Come on, Ben. We got to find a way to get this to 8-7. Either win in the 9th or try to win in the 10th. And that is a strike swinging. That is strikeout for Ben Williamson. 2 away. Man, you're really trying to make this a fucking game here today, huh? We dominate. You get a fucking grand salami, Jordan. And then we come back with Cal and Randy back-to-back, baby. Yeah, we're not going to lay down for nobody. I'm telling you, this Mariner team is different. But, man, what a game. I don't think anyone anticipated it being this good. Let's go, baby. Next up, Dylan Moe. Takes a strike looking on a cutter from Fagan. 0-1 count. And Jordan isn't just going to be about the parlays. He's actually a true Reds fan. Respect. Takes a strike swinging behind in the count 0-2. And we might not be able to get anything else in this inning, but what a fucking comeback. Now we just got to make sure whoever we have in doesn't fuck this game up. And we can find a way to try to win 8-7, you know, in extras if we don't get anything here.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the end of the top of the ninth with a strikeout by Demo. And you can't expect too much, you know, but again, to be able to go back-to-back with Cal, right? And then to be able to go with Randy, torpedo bat back-to-back, having the right guys up next to each other. Wow. You know, this is really gonna sting for the team that loses. 100%. All right, let's see if the Reds are gonna win it in regulation or if we're gonna go to extras. Hopefully our defense will be better than what it was. And let's see what we got coming up here next. Next up, 2 for 3 with a run, base on ball, and a K. Shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz. Batting second, 1 for 4 with a run, 2 RBIs, Austin Hayes. And the former Mariner getting called up, Noel V. Marte getting actually a chance to play. Wow. Reds going crazy. They're really trying to just, you know, poke it into us, huh? They're really trying to do something here, huh? Okay. I know they sent him down and they brought him back up. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. The former Mariner prospect getting a chance to see if he can win the game for Jordan and the Reds. What a fucking game. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. What are we at on the likes? Are we at 20 yet? I hope we are. Holy hell. Crazy game. I don't think anyone anticipated a game being this good starting at 9:40 in the morning for me, but here we are. Five to go. All my Mariner buddies are at work right now, and they're like just losing their fucking minds. And he's like, man, I can't believe we're still alive. I said, agreed. Oh, hell. Hey, could happen, Jordan. 2 for 3 day, not an 0 for 5 day for Ellie. But some errors for Ellie, which is a little concerning in these last couple games. First pitch, 4-seam fastball, outside, 1-0 count. Legomina coming in. Oh, God, I don't know if this is good. You know we're really getting stretching the pen when you got Legomina coming in. Fuck. Hancock, Spire, Snyder, Vargas, Thornton, Bizzardo, Legomina. And obviously Vargas and Bizzardo, definitely fucked it up for us. Takes a strike, looking on a changeup, 1 ball and 1 strike. 4-seam fastball again, 1 ball and 2 strikes from Legomina to De La Cruz. Can Legomina end up being the guy that wins this for us? Yeah, baby! Changeup with a strike, looking, yeah! Let's go! Not today, Ellie. Sorry, Jordan. 1 away. Not going to be Ellie that wins it, but you still got 2 more guys. Next up, a hero in the last few games, Austin Hayes. Let's go, Mariners. Let's get to extras. Try to win this 8-7. Play. Oh, thank God. Flies out to right, 2 away. And then now the former Mariner that came in the Luis Castillo trade, and I think we won that trade even though Castillo has been dropping off statistically, Noel V. Marte, who's had some struggle staying healthy. And, got sent down to AAA, I believe Louisville is your guys' affiliate. Your boy knows, I read. And then now you got a chance to bring him up to be a hero. I'm always reading, man. 4 to 6 hours every day. A lot of grind, a lot of work on top of calling games, watching film, and following every fucking team and every fucking sport. Takes a strike, looking on a 4-seam fastball down the pipe. Legomina looking good. 0-1 count. 4-seam fastball fouled off. Behind the count 0-2. Could be a Julio Rodriguez situation here with an 0-2 count. Could be a strikeout or a ground out pop-up. Let's go. Legomina looking good. Legomina. Let's go. Find a way. Get out of this. Come on, Griffey. Fouled off on a four-seam fastball, high and tight. Try to jam him. So 0-2. Pitches outside with a changeup for Legomina. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Come on, Mariners. Bottom of the ninth, 7-7. We gave up a grand salami late, but we got back-to-back homers with torpedo bats from Cal Raleigh from the left, Randy Arozarena from the right, and we're knotted up at 7. One of the most exciting games of the year, besides obviously being down 5-0 to the Stros and coming back in that one. We've had a couple, pretty exciting ones. Sweeper outside after doing the changeup. Come on now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch in the zone. Should have been strike 3 right here. Where the fuck is the call? Called ball. Is this ump serious? 3 balls and 2 strikes from Legomina to Marte. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. God, this ump stinks. I mean, we've had at least 3 or 4 calls go against us today. Reds have had a couple as well. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Come on. Legomina on the mound. Noel Marte, the former Mariner prospect, in the box. Seriously, if you were going to challenge a play, that's the one to fucking challenge. It's right there in the box. Fuck. Let's go. We get out of it, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Little Chopper. That could be somebody's rap name. Little Chopper. Let's go, baby. Sorry, Marte. Sorry, Jordan. Little Chopper. End of the 9th inning. Let's go to the top of the 10th. Let's win, baby. I mean, I've seen worse, like there's been a few series for us where we had, maybe 15 bad calls, total for both teams. This one, hasn't been to that degree, but we definitely have had some really fucked up calls there towards the end in these last 3 innings. All right, Mariners, let's go, baby. Let's find a way. Next up, third baseman, Miles Mastrobuoni, 0 for 1. 3 base on balls and a K. Let's go, Miles. Batting second, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. And batting third, could you be a hero? Center fielder, Julio Rodriguez. I don't know how many photos we got to put up of you, motherfucker, J-Rod, but I need you to motherfucking step up today. We need you. Trident's up. I mean, why do I got so many photos of you and less of others? Make it make sense. Trident's up. Be a hero today. Let's go. What a game. What a motherfucking game. That was my singing voice right there. 7-7, Mariners and Reds. Top of the 10th, and we're knotted up at 7. Unfucking believable game. And you got some good production out of some of these Reds players today, but we have to find a way to be able to get out of this game with a dub. I see you. I see what you got. And we definitely had a shitty bullpen today, but we got to find a way to win. Oh my God. What a game, 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 baby. 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 7 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Reds. Extra innings were 0 for 2. The Reds are 0 for 1. Record-wise, something's got to give. Someone's getting a dub fucking today. Who is it going to be? Ghost runner at second, Dylan Moore. I like that. And if Mastrobuoni can get a hit here, it'd be 8-7 real quick. Ashcraft on the mound, Mastrobuoni in the box. Bunt attempt. Go, 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 go. Yes, he fumbled it. Ah! Let's go. That's why you drop the fucking bunt down. I'm telling you. There's a reason why you drop a bunt down, and that's exactly when you do it. That's what I'm talking about. Perfectly executed bunt right there by Mastrobuoni. Pitcher fumbles the bag, and that typically happens. They get freaked out. They don't coach you up on that, especially if it's a bullpen guy. Drops it down. He tries to barehand it or get it with the glove. Nah, nah, nah. Not today. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Next up, J.P. Crawford. Runners at first and third. First pitch. Bunted foul with the cutter. I mean, we can win this game by fucking bunting, baby. Let's go. And that happens to guys, even starting pitchers, where they are not coached up for the bunt. And again, if you execute it at the right time, it helps you win. Foul ball off the cutter, decides not to go bunt, which is probably a smart move by J.P. Crawford. Top of the 10th, 7-7, Mariners and Reds. Let's go, baby. Find a way. Ashcraft on the mound, J.P. Crawford in the box. Runners at first and third with no outs. Great opportunity here for the Mariners to get it to 8-7 or 9-7 possibly. Come on, Mariners. One of the better bunts I've seen all year. And that was the first bunt that we actually attempted this game. I would love for us to bunt 1 to 4 times a game, but I know that's not very realistic based off Dan Wilson's coaching style. But, the trainer comes out to look at JP after he fouls that off his foot, it looks like, slightly. Hopefully JP's okay. Winces a little bit. Andres Munoz in the pen. In play. Yeah, baby, let's go! Crawford reaches on an infield single to the shortstop. Timo scores. Master Bodie to second. Let's go! Let's go! 8-7 Mariners. Woo! Let's go, baby. $5 holla. Little stack, racks, and jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you bringing the electricity today. Appreciate you, my guy. Go M's. And the reason that happened, right here with the bunt. If that doesn't happen, then this doesn't happen. Nice job. Way to get, some good production at the end of the lineup. Next up, Julio Rodriguez. First pitch, cutter, fouled off. 0-1 count from Ashcraft to Julio. Yeah, baby. $3 holla. We got this. Stacks, racks, jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Strike swinging on a slider, 0-2 count, and that usually will work in the benefit of the pitcher. Julio on an 0-2 count typically gets out 90% of the time. Let's see if this is the other 10%. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Griffey loves it. Top of the 10th, 8-7 Mariners. What a fucking game, man. Pitch is low and outside. Julio doesn't swing. It's a miracle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ashcraft to Julio. 1 for 5 with a single in the 5th. He's only batting 189, which is horrendous. You like that? Fuck, I do. I really like that. I hated giving up that grand salami. But that back-to-back homers by Cal and fucking Randy, you kidding me? In play. Fielder's choice, runners out. Crawford out at second, Master Boney to third. And obviously we had Polo in, and then they brought in Mitch Garber. So is this going to be Mitch, or what are we doing here? It would have been much better to have Polo in this situation playing the whole game instead of having Mitch Garber. But now it's Mitch Garber. Can't expect anything from Mitch, but you never know. Could this be his hero moment? He hasn't had a moment in 2025 yet. First pitch, and even if he doesn't swing, he can end up helping this team win. First pitch is inside, 1-0 count for Mitch Garber. Man, this would be great if we could have this. Runners at first and third in the top of the 10th, 8-7 Mariners in a fucking battle. We're going to war with each other here in this game. Literally. Pitch is high and outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Garver, take the walk, my guy. Don't even worry about swinging. Goal with the dollar. Appreciate you. Every dollar counts. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack, my guy. Appreciate you. Gary in the building. What's good? Top of the 10th, 8-7 Mariners. Mariners were firm control in this game. Gave up a grand salami in the 8th. Got back-to-back homers by Cal and Randy in the 9th to make it 7-7. And now we're trying to win this game here late. Foul ball off the cutter. Wow, that's some heat right there. 96 miles an hour there by Ashcraft. 2 balls and 1 strike with 1 out and runners on the corners on 1st and 3rd. We might be able to get to a hundo today. Let's go. And Rodriguez stole second. No throw to second there. Runners at second and third, baby, with 1 out. Let's go. Yes, sir. And there's the walk, baby. You just got to talk it into existence, baby. You know, why use your bat when you're not going to do this and just take the fucking walk, my guy? Yay! That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, baby. We're not done. Next up, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Can you go for another homer? I mean, again, he's a guy that can hit 2 in 1 game. He's got 1 today. Let's go, baby. Homered twice yesterday, had 3 in the first 3 games, nothing in game number 4, 2 yesterday. Can he have 2 today? And they got bases loaded. Imagine a grand salami by Cal. I might just jump through the fucking window. I mean, luckily, I only have a 1-story house here, so I wouldn't do damage to my body, but golly, let's go. Trident's up, baby. Way to bring that electricity. What a comeback. Jordan with a 5er. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little cactus jack, bang, bang. And again, we can appreciate Jordan in the room because he's not just about parlays. He's actually a true diehard Reds fan and been here on the channel for a few years. So we can always show some love to people like that. Appreciate you. Top of the 10th, 8-7 Mariners. Big dumper in the box. Bases loaded, 1 out. Let's fucking go. Torpedo bat is working. And it might be working better for Cal than anybody in the league right now, if we're really being honest. Besides like the 33 fucking runs that the Yankees put up, 20 and a 13 in the first 2 games when they used it, but it's not like the whole team fucking used it. The same thing with the Mariners. We only have like a third of the team that's using the bat. Strike swinging, 0-1 count. Fouls off the second pitch with the slider. Behind the count now 0-2 from Ashcraft to Raleigh. Let's go. Top of the 10th, 8-7 Mariners. Ashcraft on the mound. Cal Raleigh already with a homer today. And he's got, 3, 4, 5, 6 homers in 6 homers in 5 games with the torpedo bat where they just got. And damn it, Raleigh strikes out. Nice pitch by Ashcraft. He's baiting him inside low, inside low, inside low. Cal got baited. That's just good pitching by Ashcraft. 2 away. And let's see if our other guy that hit a home run will be able to tie the game up and get in this position if Randy can do it. First pitch is high and inside. 1-0 count with the cutter. 1-0 count. Come on, Randy. Can you do it again? We don't even need a home run here. Just an RBI to give us a little bit extra insurance here. Now, obviously, if we hit a grand salami here, we probably won. But if we can just extend it and get even a hit, and make it 9-7, that could be the difference. Cutter, low and away. And Randy is getting very good at being patient in the box. I wish Julio could actually understand, hey, not swinging is going to help the team. 2-0 count for Randy. And a lot of times this could lead to a walk, and we'll just get a freebie run. Pitch in the zone, fouled off. 2 balls and 1 strike from Ashcraft to Randy.
Oh my gosh.
74, 26 to go. Takes a strike looking at the corner of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ashcraft to Randy. Come on, Randy. Damn, good thing I ate a big breakfast. All kinds of blueberries and strawberries. big old cereal. I'm hungry again, though. I'll be honest. Reflect with a 26er to get us to our goal. Thank you so much. Fouled off with the slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded. Yeah, baby. Appreciate you and the support. Stacks. Racks. Jack. Bang, bang. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners on all the bases. And we get one more RBI. Please. Foul ball with that slider, 89 miles an hour on the outside. If you just wouldn't have swung on that, I mean, who knows if that would have been called strike based on this ump lately. 2-2 count. Top of the 10th. Bases loaded. 2 outs. 8-7 Mariners. And that's a ball with the cutter, baby. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count is full. And Randy is smart. He won't force it if he doesn't need to. And maybe Ashcraft doesn't got it. And we can get a freebie run. Remember, we won a game like this just very recently. Randy hit a grand slam. Next time we got up, same situation. Bases loaded. He took a walk. We brought in a run. We won the game. Big pitch here. Let him know, Chef. Let him know. Top of the 10th, 8-7 Mariners. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-2 count. Count is full. And this could go many, many ways. Come on, Randy. Out to short. Let's go. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Randy Rosarina doubled to left. Mastrobuoni scored. Julio scored. Garver to third. Woo! Trident's up, baby! Let's go! Oh, shit! What a comeback. Man, and I'm telling you, this Mariner team is a little bit different. Do not be surprised if we end up winning the AL West or getting second. The Astros and Rangers are not as good as traditionally they have been. The A's and the Angels are better than they traditionally have been, but that leaves us to take advantage of those other 4 teams. 10-7 Mariners. Fuck yeah. Next up, Donovan Solano. Takes a strike swinging with a cutter. 0-1 count. Let's go. Pitch is high and tight inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 count from Ashcraft to Solano. Let's go. Sorry, Jordan. You still have a chance in the bottom of the 10th, but again, I didn't think we were going to come down and come back from, being down 7-5, and we hit back-to-back homers. So who knows? Anything's possible. But I feel that we got this in the bag now. Solano and Ellie with another error. Safe. Yeah, baby. Ellie might have to switch positions, bro. 3 errors by Ellie De La Cruz, and we bring in another baby. Ellie. With those long legs and those long arms, you're suspect, bro. That's like the 3rd or 4th error out of Ellie in this series. Thank you. Thank you. 11-7. An error. Garver scored on that error. And again, when you got long legs and you got long arms like that, yeah, you might have an arm, but it's definitely it's gone against you here today. Maybe you need to be playing center field, Ellie. Just saying. Too many errors now. It's costing you guys games, And again, it happened in the beginning of a game when Julio hit one, and he erred there. And again, when you get 1 error, it's in your head. And a couple errors by Ellie, and he might have just single-handedly lost you the game right there. And a little slow dribbler by Big Ben. Ellie's like, I'm not going to fucking error again. And he taps on second, but he feels like shit. You can tell he's dejected. Ashcraft can't believe it either. 11-7. Randy having a little combo there with Trevino. Let's go, Mariners. Oh, you missed one of the best games of the year. Like, seriously, this game was, we had a pitcher that had an ERA of 81, Emerson Hancock, against a guy that had an ERA of 3, that was 3-0. And somehow Hancock lasted longer than him. And we were in full control of the game. And then, obviously, they hit a grand slam in the 8th with our shitty bullpen. Went up 7-5. We said, fucking A. And in the 9th, we need, 2 runs. What happens? Cal with the torpedo bat. Goodbye. Randy, next up, torpedo bat. Goodbye. 7-7. And then now, We end up having an amazing 10th inning, and we'll see what the Reds can do here in the bottom of the 10th. Let's go. Ellie needs to move to center field, period. Telling you, this motherfucker is good luck. Let's go. Just feels like this is a different team this year. You know, even with the injuries to Bliss and Robles and not having Taylor and Brash and Kirby available, we're special this year. I feel it. Shout out to all the people showing love and support with the likes and the subs and the views and the donos and the shares. Appreciate you very, very much. Mariner Moose, good luck, baby. Bringing that electricity, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Reflect 20, Captain 10, Louise 10, Louise 10, Louise 5, Cole 10, Louise 5, Reflect 3, Cole 1, Jordan 5, and Reflect with a 26, baby. Shout out with all the individuals showing love with the Dono train. Nice. Especially to have a game at like 9:40 a.m., which, you know, sometimes when you do a game early, you know, the turnout is a little light. But thankfully, we had a pretty good turnout here today. And we obviously hit the goal, which is fantastic because I got bills to pay and I got a dog, pup to be able to take care of. And we bring in our ace, Andres Munoz. And when he comes in the game, what happens? He shuts shit down. First pitch, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. That's Candelario. Second pitch, slider, big swing and a miss, 0-2 count. Let's go. Pitch is low and out of the zone at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from our ace, Andres Munoz. And this game had me having all the goddamn emotions. You know, and it's not, oh, and Rowley, hopefully Cal's okay. I don't know if he got hit in the nuts or what happened there, or he got hit somewhere. But he's down. Hopefully he's all right there. What happened, Cal? I need to see a replay, but Cal got hit somewhere. Did he get hit in the nuts or in the thigh? What happened? Let me see his pitch again. Oh, it bounces up and hits him in the fucking throat. Oh my fucking God. Underneath the mask. What are the chances of that? Andres, are you trying to eliminate our catcher? He goes off a bounce and underneath the mask, right in the fucking throat. Holy fuck. 87 miles an hour off 1 bounce in the throat. Oh my God. Holy fuck. And again, some catchers have extended masks that, you know, will prevent that from happening, but sometimes you just get it in the right spot. I don't know if he was flexing right there, his neck, because sometimes that'll be the saving grace for you. What a tough son of a bitch, and he's not even leaving the game. That's my fucking catcher. Wow. Yeah, he probably will wear a throat guard, you know, here underneath next time. And Munoz usually isn't that wild. I mean, sometimes he is, but wow, I don't think I've seen a guy get hit in the neck or throat, Adam's apple area in a long fucking time. Holy hell. What a tough son of a bitch. Jesus Christ, holy cow. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Munoz to Candelario. And Munoz keeps throwing into the dirt. How about you throw to the glove, my guy? Ghost runner at second, bottom of the 10th, 11-7, Mariners. 2 balls and 2 strikes after Cal getting hit in the fucking throat. And he's still in there. Tough son of a bitch. Love him. 0 for 3 with a walk in the 3rd, or a walk in the 8th for Candelario. Chopper chopped it off himself, and he injures himself as he's limping now. God, everyone's just getting beat up here late in the game. Jaime Candelario in the box, Andres Munoz on the mound. 4-seam fastball, low. Everything has been low for Munoz. Jesus. Now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Come on, Andres. Don't fuck this up. Got him. Strike swinging. There we go. 1 away. Thank God. Let's go. Yay. Way to bring that electricity, baby. 1 away. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Next up, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Nah. 0 for 2 with 2 runs and 2 base on balls. Blake Dunn. First pitch is inside. High and tight. Almost hits him. 1-0 count. Absolutely, including yourself. Anyone that I know that, goes through, these different types of emotions, it's always good to be able to hang with some, good positive people. I appreciate you stepping up and helping out with some of the mod duties without even being asked. I appreciate that. Especially when we have no elite mods on the channel. Strike looking. 4-seam fastball in the outside corner. Good framing there by Cal. 1 ball and 1 strike from Munoz to Dunn. That ball is in play. Grounded out. Marte to third. 2 away. And they're up with their guy that hit the grand salami. Don't even get any goddamn ideas, Jordan. Next up is Jake Fraley. 3 for 4 with a run, 4 RBIs, and a grand salami that ultimately made every Reds fan think that they were going to win this game, and even Mariner fans once it happened in that 8th inning. It shows you if your bullpen stinks, shit happens. Appreciate you. I always wanted to make sure that, I know that some of the other people, on YouTube, on the channel, we all got love, but, not everyone follows each other like on Instagram or on X, on socials or Facebook. So, I'm always going to go above and beyond, and I feel that, if I know that people are struggling, and not a lot of people may or may not be checking up, I'm going to, always, do that. So, especially not just because it's the right thing to do is, I've been there, I've been in tough situations. So, and I know you and Odin are going through it. And like I told Odin as well, with time, things heal. And again, there's been quite a few people that have gone through some hardships and, with Sarah and Shep and Odin and, you guys are OGs to the channel and I love you guys. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 count with that slider from Munoz to Fraley. Pitch is way outside with a 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Munoz to Fraley. Bottom of the 10th, 11-7 Mariners. Maybe one of the most exciting games besides us being down 5-0. And that's flied out to center. And that's the victory, baby. Final score, Seattle Mariners 11, Cincinnati Reds 7. We win the fucking series. Next up, we got the Blue Jays tomorrow. Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, and then Luis Castillo, including WrestleMania Day 1 and Day 2 this weekend. Let's go. Sorry, Jordan, but we're special this year. Let's go. Unbelievable game. Unfucking believable. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win! Mariners win! Mariners win! Final score, Seattle Mariners 11, Cincinnati Reds 7 in 10. Let's go. Any photos that I can get up for the people that donated, let me know. GG, my guy. Again, that grand salami, and again, if that happens 10 times, you win 9 times out of 10. Or if it happens 100 times, 99 times you win, 1 time we win. And it just so happens that 1 time was today. And I think everyone knows that as well. When you end up giving up a grand salami in the 8th and you're down by 2, emotionally, you're mentally fucked at that point. And it just so happens that we had Cal and Randy up. They both used the torpedo bat. It worked. And, the rest is history, so to speak. Wow. I need to go eat some lunch and take my pup on a walk, but I want to make sure I get some photos up for anybody that ended up dropping, some support on the channel. Go M's. Unbelievable. So reflect, Captain, Louise, Cole, Jordan, anything that you guys want to see before I end up going? I want to make sure we can give enough time to be able to do that. I can stay on for another 5 to 10 minutes if so be it. Not just a good win, bro, and a great win. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if that happened with your Braves. I mean, again, this is the way the game started off. Hayes homered to right center. We were down 2-0 with a pitcher with an ERA of 81. Okay, then Luke Raley gets his first homer of the year, right? Ties it up 2-2 with a Randy walk right before that. Then Julio scored on an error. We're up 3-2. Then Solano hit a sac fly, 4-2. Right? Then Friedel hits a sac fly, 4-3. Then Crawford doubles to right, 5-3. Then Raley ends up hitting a grand salami, and we're down 7-5, and it looks like it's over. Right? Done. Then Raleigh hits a solo jack, boom, in the ninth, 7-6. Randy hits one right after him, boom, 7-7. Then Crawford reaches on an error, right? 8-7. And then Randy Arozarena obviously double to left, 10-7. And then Garver scores, Solano safe at first off the fielding error after Ellie De La Cruz, 11-7. So again, all the emotions in this game. And again, a hard loss for Jordan. And being a hardcore Reds fan, GG. But again, the Mariners prevail somehow, some way, even with shitty bullpen pitching. Absolutely. And I think one thing that we can both agree on, move Ellie to center field, because shortstop ain't going to cut it based on these errors early in the season. Anything you want to see, Jordan, photo-wise? Pete Rose, Big Red Machine? Anything that you want to be able to see? Chris Sabo? Rob Dibble? You let me know. Ken Griffey? Johnny Bench? I can name drop for days. Oh, yeah, 100%. If this was last year, we don't win. And 100%, you play this scenario out 100 times, and I'm not joking. You only win this game once out of like 100, and we won it. Like, it's not something that you're going to win, based on giving up a grand salami in the eighth. It's just mentally, it was a mind fuck. Like, we were dominating the whole game, and then you have shitty bullpen pitching, and you give up a grand salami in the eighth, and you have pressure to get fucking 2 runs in the ninth. Doesn't fucking happen, And maybe sometimes you get lucky and you get 1, but sure as hell you don't get 2 back-to-back homers. So, man, oh man, oh man. Anything I can get photo-wise for anybody that donated, let me know. Otherwise, I got to go take my pup on a long victory walk, eat some lunch, and savor this victory. We'll be live tomorrow on Apple TV+. Yeah, man, my friends at work are just losing their goddamn minds. Wow, incredible win. And then again, the game is on at, I believe, like 4:30-ish. I want to give the correct time here. So tomorrow's game will be on Apple TV+, global broadcast, 4:07 first pitch against the Blue Jays. 10-9 now versus 11-8. We're coming for the division. And that'll be Brian Wu. And then on Saturday, the Mariners play at 12:07, and I'll probably do that game and then have no rest and do WrestleMania for 4 or 5 hours after. So it's going to be a fucking grind. And then on Sunday, I'll do WrestleMania at 4 after coming back from Easter, and we'll do that. So we're only going to be missing 1 Mariner game at that point. So, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Seattle Mariners 11, Cincinnati Reds 7 in pen. And I got one question for you. We talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. I love you guys. I appreciate all of you. And shout out to all the people that supported. Starting off with Reflect with the 20 right when the game started. Captain with a tenner. Louise with a tenner. Louise with a tenner. Louise with a 5-er. Cole with a tenner. Louise with a 5-er. Reflect with a 3-er. Cole with a 1. Jordan with a 5, and Reflect with a 26. And it's great to be able to see Steph in the building. Love you and appreciate you as well. And I got one question for you. Talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I am out. Go Mariners. Try to up.